Well, a very good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another Flight Deck Sim live stream. Today it's the 9th of April 2024 at 32 minutes past 4 in the afternoon here in the United Kingdom. Back in X-Plane 12 in the excellent ZIBO Mod 737. Here we are in Germany, in Berlin, Brandenburg. We'll be flying eastbound on 2 sectors today. Flying firstly to Bydgoszcz. Place, I still can't pronounce this place. Bydgoszcz. And then we're going to be doing a second sector to Lublin. Both flights very short, 45 minutes. There is a reason we're going to these two airports. I'm just really curious to see what they look like, having never been there before. I might end up maybe going there one day if I work for a certain airline, but yes, let's go explore them together as a channel and a community to see what's what. I've also gone off with 4XP for the entire sector as well, stock airports, but stock airports in X-Plane 12 isn't a bad thing because they're all looking very, very nice indeed. So the whole stream should be about 3 hours or so. Live time, live weather in the latest version of the ZIBO Mod 737, which we've not flown for before. Whilst I've got you here as well, tomorrow I'll be in a Seneca 2 from a small developer in Mexico. All the information we post on social media later on this evening. I just wanted to get this stream over in preparation for some potential future flights in the future. And we got here in chat today. Well, firstly, Tobias, nice to see you here, buddy. Thank you for such a lovely message you sent as well just before you popped out as a member. Good to see you in chat. I presume that's you. And yes, we might do some sim racing at one point as well. But once I get all my training captain course done out the way, I'll have a little bit more time available. Anyway, there we are. Here's the ZIBO Mod 737, completely cold and dark. LTC yet? No, I'm not even halfway. XAKS 123. I'm on annual leave at the moment. I've done my first few sectors. I've got to do another 10 sectors, I think, or 8 at the moment, so it's going to be another couple of weeks at least. I'm not going to give away any more than that, but still training, still enjoying it, which is what's important as well. Domino Mosina is here as well. You'll see plenty of Wizz Air A321s in Echo Papa Bravo Yankee. I can't remember what the ICAO code is. Is that Lublin or Bydgoszcz? We'll have a look out there. Jacob, I'm so sorry for mispronouncing that place there. I did my PPL there, and now I'm our building there. Very, very cool. Well, we're going to sort of do a straight-in approach into Bydgoszcz 08 and hopefully depart off 26 if the traffic's favourable. Because of the layout of the airport as well. Timmy plays very impressed by my pronunciation of my Polish airports. Lee Russell's here, Greg Scott, the Gadget Badger, Vixel's here as well, Sleepy Lab, Brandon McCrayton, Edda. Yes, you were asking about what point merge was. Yes, so point merge, traditionally arrivals would have a hold. If it got busy, you'd go in the hold and then you'd be vectored onto the approach. Nowadays, certain airports have developed point merge arrivals, so the idea is it keeps you on a star for longer, sort of doing zigzags across the sky, and they just vector you off it when you're ready. It's a little bit more efficient than holding, and I think a bit easier to deal with, but it's becoming more common, certainly in European airports, that's for sure. Weather Monday is going Poland Mega. Yes, we'll be going there as well. Bydgoszcz, how's that? I'll go with that. Cam G, what are you training for? Training to become a training captain. So I'm a captain now, I'm a TRI, so that's my role at my operator. I'm hopefully going to be training, well, I am training to become a training captain, and I need to do that to become what we call a TRE, a type rating examiner, which I've been offered the job position for, but I've got to do this training to become an LTC first. So when I go flying, I'll be training actual pilots on the line, be it new entry first officers, new entry pilots with experience from other airlines, or new captains, and I'll actually sit in the right hand seat and train them up. We've got a lot of people from Poland here. Jacob Bydgoszcz, how's that? I'll forget that, but we'll go with that. Miles Miller, finished work at my job, but I'm required to be in the office in case problems come up. Thanks for keeping me company. No problem. Don't be too distracted by me, Mike Miller. Make sure you do your job properly. Daffy, so a point merge has a maximum amount of incoming traffic, or less you'd have to make a bigger star. Yeah, so if it's obviously really busy, they can still put you in a hold before the point merge system as well. But I've found at airports with point merge, I've never had to hold, even when it's really busy. Excellent, so let's get everything set up here in the background. I just fired up New Sky just at the start of the stream. Why New Sky is not being picked up, I don't know. Let me just do this here. There we are. So Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf for our sector. I skipped this because my average score this month is not very good, because I've done 2 sectors and I got a what was it, a -6 for a tail strike in the 1460 of the day. So I'm just going to hide that from everyone there. We're going to Bydgoszcz which is here. We're in the 737, 738. There we are. We've got. I'll actually follow what I got in SimBrief. That's 175 passengers. 0 fuel weight's going to be 57.6. So I could just lower this until I see sort of near enough 57.6. There we are. Yeah, I think it's pretty much no cargo in the hold. Yes, we'll be due off at 1600 Zulu, so I'll put that in now. Duration, we'll go with that. Book flight. We'll start the leg. Yes, there's the 6 out of 10 sector. Perfect. New skies all up and running. I can minimise that now, and we'll get the aircraft all set up now. It's as in check. Bydgoszcz check. That one I know, David. That's whoosh. I can do that one. Don't tell me how I know. I may or may not have visited in a 737. But whoosh, that one is whoosh. Battery on, GPUs on the bus. Electric hydraulic pumps are on. Landing gear lever is down. Ship's library. Check the aircraft documentation, making sure it's all set up. Bydgoszcz is my favourite airport to fly in sim. VOR teardrop to 08. Yeah, we'll probably do a straight in first house because it's favouring 08. Plus, the terminal in Bydgoszcz is on the east side of the airport, so it'll be perfect to land off 08 and just taxi straight onto the terminal. And departures, ideally 26. We'll see if we can take off with a tailwind as well. So that's all good. We'll have a very short flight, but I'll do my best to sort of explain what I'd be doing if I were to be flying here next week. Battery on, GPUs on the bus, electric hydraulic pumps are down, check the aircraft documentation. Perfect. Let's do the fault and flyer tests. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 green lights. Check the fault. We've got master caution overheat detector, fault APU detector in op fire test, fire warning light, the bell overheat detector with the master caution, the 3 fire warning lights, wheel well and engine overheat light. Where was engine overheat light number 2? Ah, there it is. That's illuminated. Excellent. Arm this. Check the attend button. I've got my OFP downloaded here, so I need to load OFP. And there we are, 175 passengers directly from SimBrief. What's happened to my flight plan? Oh no, I've not copied it across into my folder. Just give me 2 secs, guys, because we'll be making reference to that. So copy, charts, paste. There we are. So I've copied that into the relevant folder. So it should be there now. There we go. So here's our first operational flight plan. You can see 175 passengers, 0 fuel weight, 57.6. Got 57.6. Perfect. So that's all synced up. And then the fuel. Yes, this is the page I want to edit it. So the weather's really nice. Okay, it's fine here in Berlin. The wind's a bit gusty, but it's not down. It's not, you know, a crosswind. It's pretty much down the runway. Was it? Oh, it's actually now 290 at 17. But the crosswind's still sort of 10 knots. That's okay. A Bydgoszcz is lovely. It's cav okay. The weather tomorrow morning's a bit windier, but fine for our arrival today. So we'll take standard fuel. There's no VATSIM events today. So it's 4.9. That's what exactly I'd be requesting today. And we'll activate that now. So the cleaners will start cleaning the aircraft. The ZIBO mod will start loading passengers.
Deck hose is connected and starting refueling.
And there's Ronald to load up the aircraft with fuel as well. Perfect. David says, perfect, you sound like a native Polishman. Brilliant. So that's done. Now, because we're refueling...
Ground to flight deck, fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
Intake on. We can put the seatbelt sign on. Fuel's already lifted. What did we ask for? 4.9, yes, 4.9 in the tanks, that's perfect. Check the takeoff config warning. Excellent. Stab trim we'll set later. Cargo fire warning test. 4.5. I forgot the ZIBO mod cleaners are the loudest cleaners you will ever hear. Manual gear extension doors closed. Circuit breakers are all in. Up here for the stall warning test. Again, you need 4 minutes after connecting AC power for that to work. Mac airspeed warning test is good. IRS to DAV. Oh, shut up. That's better. Check the tech log. All this is set here. Lighting. It's all good. Emergency escape rope. And aircraft fully serviceable. Very good. Awesome Pigeon. Good to see you here. It says, hi, Flight Data Sim and chat. Miles says, PMDG or ZIBO, what's the pros and cons of both? Oh, the most frequently asked question on this channel. Microsoft is a more complete simulator if you want the graphics. If you want a good 737 with all the systems working well. The handling in the sim, though, for takeoff and landing is it's okay. It's it serves a purpose for the average user. It would be absolutely fine. It's actually not bad. Like the landing technique and takeoff technique I apply in real life in the Microsoft Flight Sim PMD GC7387, it works. The ZIBO mod, the aircraft handles like it should. So the physics behind this is a lot better with blade element theory, the inputs, the aircraft response as well. Stock airports in this sim as well are very, very nice. And if you download Ortho, which I've done for this sector, it looks resplendent as well, so you can make the sim look good. But the issue of the dark cockpit remains, even though I've got the plug-in, the X-Lua reality plug-in. It's still incredibly dark cockpits. We'll have to see how it is at dusk, where it's particularly bad. Right, there's no ATC here at the moment. Oh, there is an ATIS at Berlin. Oh, maybe there is a centre covering it. This is where my lack of VATSIM, top-down ATC becomes I'm a little unsure of. So yeah, there is a top-down ATC. So I think centre, Echo Delta Whiskey Whiskey, Bremen Radar are providing ATC. So I'll contact Bremen Radar. They checked in not that long ago, and their frequency is 124.175. So I'll tune that up now. We'll get the ATIS first and get the clearance first. Yes, thank you, Nicholas. There we are. And we'll get the ATIS now. 12378. There is a VATSIM event going on in Berlin later, which was my initial plan to take part in, but I'm going to be busy tonight now. So.
290 degrees 20 knots, gusts up to 30 knots per
Oh, lovely.
Brandenburg information Foxtrot.
Oh, it's got a bit windier.
Out. Berlin Brandenburg information Foxtrot.
New
Report
ATIS.
time 1520 Zulu. Automated weather message, expect vectoring for ILS approach runways at use 25 left.
So hopefully 25 right departure for us.
Left, or 25 right remain on frequency. Transition level 70. Wind 290 degrees 17 knots. Cab OK. Temperature 21. Dew point 13 QNH 1008 trend temporary. Wind 290 degrees 20 knots, gusts up to 30 knots Berlin Brandenburg.
290, gusting up to 30 knots, so we'll just have to keep an eye on that. For that reason, we won't take an assumed thrust reduction when it's gusty. You always want a higher thrust setting than the minimum in these sort of conditions, so that's something to bear in mind when we do the performance. What I'll do is I've got the OPT out today from the real aircraft. I'm going to get in the habit during streams now, because it's a bit of a faff to upload it as a PDF and share. I'll actually show you my whole iPad on the web or yoke cam. It'll be a bit easier. So QNH is 1008. The MF ray is going to be 1156. So we'll set that here this side. 1156. Perfect. And we'll select airport, terrain. We can, well, we don't really need terrain on because I've got the X checklist running. Or the interactive checklist. I'll make sure I do my light test as well. So that's just a panel scan with that on, checking all the lights are illuminated properly. Excellent. Sounds like boarding's complete. The doors are already closed. Check the individual lights here as well. Jim would do his. The wheel well fire light doesn't illuminate, but it does when you do the fire test of AC power on. So that's done. Reset the master caution if we've completed the light test. I'll check my oxygen as well. And in the real aircraft, you check all three settings: normal, 100%, and emergency. Now I'm going to grab my clearance now, just in case we get a slightly different departure than planned, and then we'll load up the FMC. Typically, you get your clearance after you've set it up the FMC, but we'll just get it done now. So that will be Bremen Centre. I don't have enough space on my desk for everything. There we are. This is my desk, if you want. Hello. So I've got my piece of paper here. I'm having to sort of go when I'm writing, so it's a bit awkward. Let's grab our clearance. Anyway, let's make sure that's turned up. Perfect. Bremen Centre, hello, it's Alpaca 10 Golf in Berlin, stand Alpha 10, information Foxtrot 1008, departure clearance to Bydgoszcz.
Alpaca 10 Golf, Bremen Radar, clear to Bydgoszcz via Gerga 1 Alpha departure, left and route, climb airspeed 5000 feet, squawk 1000.
Clear to Bydgoszcz on the Gerda 1 Alpha departure, climb to altitude 5,000 feet, squawk 1000, Alpaca 10 Golf.
Alpaca 10 Golf, read the correct.
Perfect. Excellent, we've got our clearance, 5,000 feet. We can set the squawk, which is 1000, and I was expecting a different SID. So someone said IRS. Yeah, both IRS is in nav. Yeah, both IRS is in nav. Why did you only set left IRS? It's all good, all good. Both hit to nav. You wouldn't ever just set one IRS to nav. You need both for dispatch. So, Girder 1 Alpha. Let me just grab my charts out for that. Am I going to have to taxi all the way to the other... No, I am expecting the Girder 1 Alpha. I was expecting maybe the Girder 1 Mike. Why did I write the different one on there? Girder 1 Alpha is also off 25 right. Okay, that's fine. So we'll make sure we get that routing in. So, FMC... POS in it, we're in Berlin, Echo Delta Delta Bravo, GPS left. Put that in. Flight plan request, we'll fetch it from ACARS. What would you see in the ship's library? Great question there, Can Uxil. So you're looking for the aircraft's AOC, noise certificate, all the official documentation associated with that, but most of it's on our iPad now, but we do actually have some paper documents. They live just down here, just to make sure we've got what's required for dispatch. Okay, that's ready. Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf is in. We'll activate and execute. Just want to make sure I've got the correct departure, which I don't. It's now going to be a Girder 1 Alpha, so departure. Still 25 right, Girder 1 Alpha, execute. Check we've got 5,000 feet set, which we don't. So we'll put 5,000 feet as a hard altitude just here. Performance then, so perf, 0 fuel weights 57.6. Let's have a look at our operational flight plan for our reserves. Our alternates, Gdansk, 2.5 tons of fuel required. Cost index, 30. Cruise at flight level 290, quite a short sector, we won't spend a huge amount of time up there. 290 is set on the overhead panel. The elevation at Echo Papa Bravo Yankee is 236 feet, so we'll set 250 there. Cruise wind, top of climb wind is 212 at 44. Top of climb ISA is 0. We can put the average wind in, 205 at 28. To do that, you go to legs, then route data. First waypoint after top of climb, or the only waypoint after top of climb and top of descent. Before top of descent is Gurga, so we can put the average wind there, 205 at 28. Perfect. Performance then. So transition altitude is set. Ah, perfect. Here's a nice little neat trick. Well, it's actually not done it. So 5,000 feet. You see, I put 5,000 feet here. That should show flight level 50. If I change this to 5001, then it will change to an altitude. So that should have shown a flight level beforehand, which it hasn't done. Right, so I'm just going to punch all this data into the OPT from ATIS. So when you've got winds, guys, for performance, and it's gusting, you never take the gust if it's a headwind. Just be conservative, you take the steady headwind component. So the wind on the ATIS was sort of 290 at 17, gusting 30. We'll just put 290 at 17 for performance. Temperature is 20 degrees, and the QNH is 1008. So what we'll do, we'd obviously on our real OPT take all the passenger figures and weights, but we'll just use this for our takeoff weight, 62.5. And the trim, it's going to be 17.1. So I'm just putting in the real world OPT here. I'll press calculate, and I'm planning from Lima 5 intersection, guys. Okay, so just show you the Navigraph flight plan. So we're here Alpha 10. You're going to plan to depart from Lima 5. We always take an intersection departure if you're going to sort of taxi past it. So the real OPT shows, let me just turn on yoke cam here. I've got to be careful how I lower this. There we are, you can see the yoke cam in the background. So that's showing that we can take an assumed temperature 22k at 36 degrees. Okay, now remember what I said, because it's gusty, I don't really want to take an assumed thrust. I want to be a bit conservative, so I'm going to go full 22k. So that tab I've changed to full, and that's showing full 22k we can accept. It says takeoffs available at 92.5%. I don't know if you could see that. Anyone in chat, let me know. That'd be great. So 22k, 92.5. This should show 93.2, which it does. When I put the APU bleed on, this will reduce to 92.5, so that's looking good. So flat 5, real CG is in. The speeds from the real OPT are showing. I'll just recalculate. 137, 138, 142. So I'm going to put 137, 138. 142. I accidentally had it on wet runway on my real world OPT. I've just changed it to dry. So there we are. We always match the OPT speed. Set V2 on the MCP. And the trim is 6.25 units, which I'll set now. Perfect. Tom Hateskirt says, greetings from Wells. I hope you're doing well. Is that Wells in Norfolk? Tom Hateskirt, it's nice to see you here. Can says, thanks for the answer, by the way. Can is pronounced like John. Maybe Burak Usul may help you with his Turkish. Oh, really? So, John Yüksel, really? Oh, that's very different to what I'd expect. Very good. I think we've done everything there. Someone's getting the weather for some place I'd never heard of. Brilliant. Perfect. So performance is done. Overhead panel. Yaw dampers on. Nav transfer display switch is normal auto. Fuel 4 pumps on. Check the crossfeed valve. Bright, dim, bright, and off. It's closed. Cabin utility is on. IDG is guarded. Turn up the lighting on the panel lights, which shouldn't illuminate during the day, but it does in the mod, unfortunately. Window heat is on, voice recorders on, trim air's on, PAX auto, isolation valve auto, AP bleed is off, and that's set. Flight director's on, it's an RNAV SID, and it's all set up for that with runway heading and course is set. Order brake to RTO, reset fuel flow, QNH 1008 is set, trim set, and the pedestal is all set up too. Rudder and aileron trim we'd cover. Wells in Somerset, England. Very nice, Tom, and I think you mentioned that to me in the past. Brendan, the OPT was shiny. Would probably be more visible if the light was off. Ah, yes. It's got a case on it, a special case to stop any reflections. Perfect. So, taxi. We're going to do a push back to face east, most likely, out via Foxtrot. We've got 2 rights, can then take Charlie or Delta, or we can take a Lima 5 intersection or Lima 6 with a rolling takeoff, or Lima 7 or Lima 8. We'll advise ATC. And then the SID is going to be the Gerga 1 Alpha. I feel like I'm going to sneeze, excuse me if I do. There it is in the FMC. Transition altitude is 5,000 feet, which we've set in as well. So it says Gerga 1 Alpha only, Delta Bravo 240, Delta Bravo 241 at or above 5,000 feet, which is set, but it's also the initial climb clearance of 5,000 feet, which is set here, hard, and on the MCP. From there, it's going to be Delta Bravo 242, max 230, Delta Bravo 243, and then 244. There's a slight bypass there because of the nature of the turn, it's quite close. So one thing you could do to see how it's overshooting slightly, you could bring the speed back perhaps for that turn. So what I'll do, I'll put 220 knots or below, so we're still complying with that speed restriction, which will just tighten it up slightly. And the same with Delta Bravo 244. Even though we're quite high, we're going to keep the speed nice and low. 220 knots below. Now you'll see when I put this in to the Gerga point, look how it tightens that turn and it gets rid of the bypass. So we alter the speeds in the FMC to ensure that we can track accurately. So if we need to do 220 knots still at 10,000 feet, so be it. It's also an NADP1 departure. So chat, at what point do we accelerate after climb? We rotate, put the gear up, and we maintain that initial climb speed of around V2 plus 20 until what height with NADP1? Who can answer that in chat? Get the AP up and running, and I'll get the better pushback on order, and I'll connect first.
On to cockpit. Toes driving up.
Excellent. 3 scratch Brendan, John, Pangolin. John, it's 3,000 feet. Brendan, 3 scratch. You've got it. 3,000 feet. Noise reductions at 1,500. So NADP2 is 1,000 feet above aerodrome level. NADP1 3,000 feet above aerodrome level. Right, let's run the checklist, see what I forgot.
Safety inspection checklist.
That's quiet.
Surfaces and chocks.
Checked.
Maintenance status.
Checked.
Battery.
On.
Electric hydraulic pumps.
On.
Landing gear lever.
Down.
Ship's library.
Checked.
Safety inspection checklist complete.
Just going to try and turn up old Andy there. I can barely hear him. It used to be too loud. So let me just hear fly over lure.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Oh no, how do I turn the... Is that okay, guys?
Before start checklist.
It's not
to
too
the
loud, is it?
IRS mode selectors.
Nav.
Gear pins.
Remove.
And what does the engine
Right.
out say?
Check.
Climb straight ahead to a position 20 miles
Roll damper.
to hold.
On.
Nav transfer and display switches.
Normal and auto.
Fuel.
Perfect. So fuel, minimum block is 4719. We have 49 on board.
Check.
Fuel pumps.
4 on.
4 pumps on.
Cabin util IFE galley power.
On.
Emergency exit lights.
Old Andy.
On.
Sorry, Andy.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
Fix auto. Bleeds on.
Pressurization.
So let me just disconnect the GPU. So we've got flight level 290, 250. There's our elevation.
Set.
Pressurization mode selector.
Auto.
Instruments.
Cross checked.
Auto brake.
RTO.
Hydraulics.
Type Penguin, what is the
Normal.
reason for an
Speed
ATP one?
brake.
To get away from
Down.
the ground. Yes, it's
Parking brake.
Set.
better for noise, I think,
Step
closer
and
to the airport. I
Normal.
think it's
Rear well firewall.
Codswallop, but
Check.
apparently that's
Radios,
it.
radar and transponder.
No longer a spring chicken.
Set and stand by.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
Discussed.
PA.
Complete.
Complete.
FMC CDU.
There we are. So I've got the takeoff and Jim's got legs.
N1 and IAS books.
N1 and IIS auto. V-speed set.
Stab trim.
Set.
Performance, weight and balance.
Good question there, Shaman. So Shaman says, if noise abatement procedure wasn't a thing, what would be the best way to use the thrust for a climb? So it's a mixture. You want a lower thrust setting for takeoff as possible. That's for engine wear and tear primarily. It's not going to break it or anything, but components last longer if you have a reduced thrust setting for departure. But once you sort of get above 10,000 feet or 5,000 feet, a higher thrust setting is better. It's more fuel efficient. Why? That doesn't make sense, does it? Why? It's because you get to your cruise altitude quicker, and that's where a jet engine, a jet turbofan engine, is most efficient at high altitude, at high M1, with low fuel consumption and low air density. So that's where a jet engine is most efficient. So we actually want a higher thrust setting during the climb to get to the cruise as soon
Check.
as possible.
EFB.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Phones.
Off.
Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Closed.
Doors.
Closed.
Passengers.
Seated.
Can't teach it.
Before start checklist completed to the line.
Could you usually use default scenery and explain? Yes, usually. I've got a number of sceneries at Explain 11 which do work. I even have access to Javecki designs for Lublin, but by the time I've downloaded it, installed it, and messed around with the ortho, it doesn't always work. It's just very time consuming, so I tend not to use it in Explain. Right, we'll get the clearance now.
Departure flatland route climber 5000.
Global 6000, try exclamation mark PC. Experience if you were to had a flight flex temp. What's a flex temp? Is that Airbus term? Joking. Would that use higher climb rates to get to cruise quicker? No, just higher thrust. Climb, basically more thrust makes you climb quicker. Bremen Centre, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf in Berlin. Stand Alpha 10, request push and start.
Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf, push and start approved, face east.
Push start approved facing east, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf.
Number 888, wind 2903, 17 knots, runway 2.
On to cockpit. Please show me where you want to go.
Oh, where is the taxiway here?
to land, Lufthansa 888.
Something
Right now
like that.
3302, descend at 2000 feet per minute or greater.
How connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
Just before we do that, just do our checklist below the line.
Before start checklist below the line. Air conditioning packs.
Fair enough, Donovo. See you.
Anti-collision
check.
light.
On.
Parking brake.
Set.
Transponder.
Alt off.
Before start checklist complete.
3302, descend at 2000 feet per
On
minute
time
or
departure,
greater.
look.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engine.
Can't teach it. Gadget Badger, do you actually turn your phone off or just do not disturb silent? I understand phones making noises have caused aborted takeoffs in the past. Really? A bit foolish to there. Generally, I turn it off or in flight mode. Primarily because anyone that... Well, it's not checklist, and secondly, anyone will know if you're leaving near a radio, you get this bit sound. So, and the same with the iPads. We use iPads for the EFB. Put those in flight as well. M2H2L, what's this? This is the MFR ray, that's what the minimums are set to. This is the height at which we accelerate in the event of an engine failure. Right, starting engine number 2. Nice to be back in X-Plane, I haven't flown the ZIBO mod for a while. Can't teach it, aren't you currently training to teach it? Brilliant. N2, oil pressure, N1, 25. Check the spar valve, goes from dim to bright and off. Monitor the engine start. Now, it's obviously not simulated as a failure, but don't really talk about this much. EGT, make sure it's raising. It's usually a little bit slower than that in the real aircraft, but if it starts shooting up towards the starter limit, you know, that's a hot start, be prepared to cut it off. Monitor N2 and N1 to make sure they accelerate and make sure you have oil pressure. Starter cut out 2463, 2 stable, starting engine number 1.
Operation complete. Please have parking brake.
Oil pressure and
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Brendan, don't think the sound's as good as the PMDG. No, I think the PMDG sounds slightly better. I really like the bass when you reduce thrust to idle in the cabin in the PMDG as well. Oh, okay, important at GCSEs for becoming a pilot. You endeavour to work as hard as possible. You'll need English, maths and a science ideally, and minimum 5 or 6, I think. That's what it was when I did mine. Doing it before taxi flight now. Usually you would wait until you see the bypass pin to do all this. Just keep the shot on the road though. Flight controls.
And bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. I'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Rudders. Perfect. Just wait until we've seen the pin and we'll do the before taxi checklist. Chi, how do I know when there are VATSIM events, please? Go search on Google VATSIM events, and there's a table there, but it doesn't always... that's great, I've seen the pin. The thing about VATSIM, they need like a worldwide booking map, so you can see when people are booked on for VATSIM. It's not really good for that. You've got events, of course, which is great, but it'd be great if there was like a massive visual online booking system so you can have a world map and see where ATC is booked. There is something online, but it's not only shows European airports. Right, anyway, mode over. Full taxi checklist.
Generators
On.
APU
Off.
start switch
Continuous.
code
On.
anti-ice
Off.
Press the boot button.
Fix
I remember
auto
that.
bleeds on.
isolation valve
Auto.
flaps
Flips 5 required and selected. Green light.
stab trim
Set.
starts levers
Idle detained.
flight controls
Checked.
recall
Checked.
before taxi checklist
Perfect. Pushback's a bit jagged, but it'll do.
345, stand by, there's traffic behind you.
Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf, request taxi.
Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf, take it over on runway 25 right via Foxtrot Charlie Lima 7.
Taxi hold 0.25 right via Foxtrot Charlie Lima 7, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf. So Lima 7 is the full length departure, and via Charlie's the second right. Second right. Right, perfect. Turn off and taxi on. Config. No config, warning horn. Off we go. Quite light, so we've got 175 passengers, but not a huge amount of fuel. But that's a little bit more sprightly than I was expecting for the mod. It's not downhill here, is it? It's taxiing quite well. Probably wasn't expecting it to move so easily. Yes, I heard about that Panko in 4v1. think it's just as good as that simulator. Just landing there as well. Lufthansa. Yes.
Descent flight level 100, descent of rate 2,500 feet or greater Leipzig and eine Uniform Sierra.
So this is just the stock Berlin scenery. I again do own the Aerosoft X-Plane 11 scenery. Again, whether it's fully compatible. A lot of X-Plane 11 airports work just fine, others don't. So the default airports are usually very good in the sim. Right, so first right Charlie, and we are cleared to Lima 7, which we'll probably end up doing anyway. So Lima 7 isn't quite full length, it's at the threshold. So we'll probably just plan with that one, because I still need to do the before takeoff checklist, which we'll do now.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
Checked.
Flaps.
Flaps 5 set. Green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
Takeoff briefing.
So, PAX Auto bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 37, 38, 42, set on the MCP. It's a Gurga 1 Alpha departure, so we're going to climb straight ahead till Delta Bravo 240 after 600 feet. Climb to 5,000 feet, NADP 1, engine out, see any problems, we'll just climb straight ahead to the MSA. What is the MSA actually? The sector to the west here, just need to double check. Helps if I actually look where I'm going as well. It is 2,400 feet, so we'll go to 3,000 feet. That's reviews.
Ryanair 6781 landing 260 descent 5,000 feet, QNH 1009 up. 260 descent 5,000 feet, 1009 Ryanair 6781.
Pangone, how do you find coming back to X-Plane after Microsoft Flight Sim? No problem at all, just can use both sims. Perfect, cabin secure.
Ryanair 1 China uniform, maintain speed 120 also great on to 5.
Check's complete, next left Lima 7.
170 is a field. 170 or more to 5. Ryanair 1 uniform. Ryanair 6781 to do.
So it turns 90 degrees, you want speed 10 knots or less. No quicker.
You cleared the localizer for the island supervised. Redner 3302, turn right heading 220, cleared out approach runway 25 right.
Cabin.
Secured.
Before takeoff
Yeah.
checklist completed to the line.
This is the X-Plane, very dark cockpit. Oops, how do I get my checklist? There we are. Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf approaching Lima 7, ready for departure.
1 Zulu Golf, wind 290 degrees, 17 knots, runway 25 right, cleared for takeoff.
25 right, cleared takeoff, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf. Perfect, cleared takeoff. Stop bar we'd make sure is extinguished, and we do our two-phase intercockpit call to make sure we are actually cleared takeoff. So MCP is set, transponder TARA, strobe lights are on, landing lights on, checks complete, and we'll do a rolling takeoff. Remember, we've got figures from much further down the runway.
Negative. Victor 3, Victor Charlie to gate Bravo 05.
So there we are. You wouldn't usually follow the yellow line for a lead on, just for vacating, but because we're doing an intersection takeoff for runway minimum runway occupancy, we'll sort of roughly follow the yellow line. Perfect timing.
Ryanair, disregard. Redner 3302, you
Perfect.
set the
Stabilised.
localizer, right heading 280
Set
to
takeoff
intercept.
first. Yeah, 925 takeoff thrust sets, indications on. Check to reach forward pressure. A little bit of a crossing for the right. And off, rotate. Wings level with aileron. Nice rotation, very, very nice. Gears coming up. Very nice.
400.
Out now. Flying really nicely. So it's NADP 1. It's flying very fast here. It should be sort of pitching up to a bit more here to bring the speed back to around V2 plus 20. So I don't know why it's commanding such a high speed. No, it is sort of coming back now. Remember, it's NADP 1 here. Fly flight level 290 via the Gerda 1 Alpha, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf.
T1, we request divert to Echo Tango November Lima, Rostock Lage.
290 set.
We are currently...
Was he doing a pan call whilst I talked over him? Whoops. We are saying, bug up.
It seems like magnetic main landing in Rostock Lage.
So I'm just going to pitch down here. Accelerating. Flat 1. Set standard because we're clear to a flight level. And we'll push it out into vents. There's a loss of lift there, so that's just deleting the 5,000 foot restriction. Flaps up. It's so dark, the cockpits, aren't they? Flaps up, no lines. VNAV, remember that's going to command 220 knots for track keeping. 15 degrees, so we don't need any engine anti-ice on. Let's get this trimmed out for 220 knots. There we go. Command A. And after takeoff, check this. So gears off, all the brakes off. We're in icing, so it's 14 degrees, we're in IMC but not icing conditions for the temperature. Air conditioning and pressurization 2.5. Set. Release the crew. At standard set 6-7 flight level 290. After takeoff, check is complete. And we've got that 220 knots. Speed restriction. That's just going to help with the track keeping for that turn shortly. Max 230 anyway, so we've got to keep the speed back at 220. And because we've been cleared to a flight level above 150 mile per hour, we know we were talking about it briefly, we're now select full climb. There we are. And who here's flown as a passenger heard the engines go, that's it, because they've gone to full climb probably. Especially at my operator. Bydgoszcz, RXP XP12 enhancer helps solve the dark cockpit feel. No, it doesn't. I've got it installed. Unless I've got it set up badly. Is that for me? I've got it all set to default. I just don't find that this improves it. It makes it slightly better, but Bydgoszcz, I don't have much luck with it. Busy on that frequency. Right, passing 104, flight level 290, pre-cruise check, so fuel. I'm just going to turn this guy up so you can barely hear him. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights, logo, APU's off, pressurization 4.0. And that's all set. Release passengers, recall. Make sure I'm monitoring 1215. And then we'd log on to CPDLC. Checks complete. So again, still complying with 220 knots. You can see even with 220, slightly overshot the turn slightly. Double slightly. Pan, what did you mean by command 220 knots for track keeping? Yes, the speed 220 knots in the FMC here tightens the turn. If you fly at a higher speed, it's a wider arc, so by going 220 it doesn't overshoot as much. Passo, hello, Flight Sim. Could you do a tutorial video where you explain the dispatch flight plan? Especially the most important things to take into consideration. Yeah, I can look into that. I did briefly cover it in my PMDG EFL review, which I'll grab for you now. Where is it? There we are. All you're doing is making sure that you can land at your destination at your estimated landing weight. And even if you can't, you can still dispatch, you just need 2 alternates. There you go, Hasso Basso, I'll paste it in chat for you.
Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf, forget
Sorry, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf, ready to copy.
Yeah, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf, proceed out of Gergo.
Drake Gergo, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf. I didn't hear that. Oh, well, that's okay. Right, perfect. Do that, we'll get rid of that speed restriction now as well. And there we go, it's going to come out 261 knots. That lighting's looking nice. It's just so dark. It's a bit better now with the sun behind us. Cool, so as soon as we reach top of climb, we'll start setting up for a straight-in approach into Echo Papa Yankee. Go Overlord, airport up at Manchester, airport approach at Manchester, telling me we had to do 5 grounds here today. I was on work Sunday and wasn't in the area to watch any of the pilots try their best to get them down the strong winds we had. Yes, it was very windy. Mike Oliver, 330 driver, has some good flight plan videos. Yes, I can highly recommend his channel. But he is a full-time YouTube creator. How he does it, I don't know. He's uploaded twice as many videos as me, ever. I've been going for 7 years. This channel's, what, a year old? I don't know how he does it. But yes, you will find a tutorial on his channel for every plane in existence. Brendan, where do you find your departures at EDDB 1 or 2? Good question. My operator's airfield briefing packs do it. So have a look at the aerodrome information section. Sometimes, not always, sometimes it mentions it in the gen section. But not always, but it is an EDDB 1 in Berlin. Berlin's very strict with noise, they have a curfew here as well. I'd mention it. Yeah, 2330 and 0530 local curfew. I have taken off outside that with an exemption here. The airline had to organise that liaise with them. It can be organised.
Heading to 80 locate let's approach to Panther left landing and then a uniform theater. Viking 4917, dream radar. Go ahead.
But otherwise, yeah, I can't see it there. Have a look at the VATSIM controllers and VATSIM VACCs are quite good at making airport briefing packs, so I'd have a look at that. Oh, 21p. There you go, perfect. Thanks for that, LG4S. No restrictions. Takeoff procedure and EDDB 1 is recommended for takeoff. So it's even that is recommended. Perfect. Ah, we're done. See, that looks really good, the sky. Clouds looking better. Wonderful. Thanks for subscribing, Ivan Clayton. Welcome aboard, buddy. If Microsoft Flight Sim had similar physics to explain, will you switch ARC 0232? No, because I like both sims for what they offer. I mean, my big issue in the sim is the cockpit lighting. Using reserve fuel. Well, that's 2.5 as a bug. So even this says 3.1 at destination. And it's 2.5. So it should only say using reserve fuel if on the prog page this drops below reserves. So that's a bug. Viewers Podge, did you enjoy the updated 146? Not caught up with the streams? Yeah, it's great fun. First stream we did was from Copenhagen to Prague, which was quite an eventful. The second stream, which we did on Saturday, 2 seconds, was very eventful. I landed with 3 engines because of a slight bug. Well, no, it's my fault. Okay, I tried to make a coffee in the cabin of the BAE 146 by Just Flight, and when I pressed brew, it happened to click through the cockpit door to, I think it was the engine fuel shut-off lever or some sort of fire handle for engine number 3. So I inadvertently shut an engine down, and then because I don't know how to fly the 146 or restart engine, I then tripped the generators, then I lost all AC power, then the autopilot was just in roll and pitch mode and I didn't realise, and then I was flying towards a mountain, so it was nearly a CFIT with an engine failed, but we fixed it. Yeah, so yeah, if you want a bit of a laugh, guys, check out the last live stream. Jacob, any thoughts, wishes and expectations of X-Plane 12.1? Please fix the cockpit lighting. It's always been dark since X-Plane 12 has been released, and I understand it's not a too big fix, but look, this is, you know, it's just not right. Please fix the cockpit lighting. Engine failure, but not an emergency. Yes, Lauren. To be fair, before you give me too much banter, an engine failure, it depends on the situation. So if I had a flame out and I did not request immediate ATC assistance, because remember an emergency associated with a mayday call is I need help right now from ATC, I'd do a pan call. Pan an urgency situation. I have to do a pan call minimum, but yeah, and especially on the 146. The 146, Lauren, you can actually take off in the MEL with 3 engines, so it's not an emergency situation in the 146 at all. It's actually quite normal. V1 Simulations is here. Hello. The real question is, do you drink real airplane coffee? I don't drink coffee. I wouldn't drink the coffee on board anyway. I was so excited after my first trip on. Oh, yeah, the captain explained to me why he doesn't. I never have since, lol. No, I take my own drinks on board. Just take the water out of the boiler, that's it. Hope you're doing well, buddy. Nice to see you here. Anyway, there we are. We've already reached top of climb. We've only got 40 miles till top of descent, so we'll start setting up. 250 below 100. Forecast. We'll fetch the winds from A-cars. Still loading. Load. That saves a lot of time. Perfect. Execute. Let's just grab the METAR from Bydgoszcz. There's no ATC here. So right now it's 180 at 10 knots. So that does ever so slightly. Over to Unicom, Alpaca 1 Zulu Golf. Choose. Accidentally disconnected the autopilot. The Germans do love speaking quick vacuum controllers, I've noticed. Gravy Overload, thank you very much for the £5, buddy, really appreciate it. Not anymore.
Hello, Captain, you should
fiance.
Do a where you try and get your girlfriend to do the flight
Fiance, Gravy, I'm getting married next year. I'm getting married. I'm going to be a married man. Once upon a long time ago, I had a previous partner. We're every example, and we still share our lovely dog Jack. And she did have a go. It's quite funny. Maybe I could convince Joe to do something. But she very much keeps. She has her own. She's a secondary school teacher, teaches art, very good artist, and she has her own second little thing online on Etsy, doing art as well. So we keep ourselves busy. We've got a little his and her office. I'll actually show you. I'll show you some of Joe's art. Hold on. Joe painted these. I'm not an artist at all. I should be setting up the approach. What do you think of those? They're nice, aren't they? Cool, huh? So she does all sorts there. She's at the moment painting a friend's dog, which I don't know if Yoga will reach over there as such, but it's a his and her office look. So that's her side. There you go. And there's a bit of a top of a dog's head over there. I might get it over later. And that's the easel which is being painted on. So yes, there we go. These are very personal questions. Let's stick here to what I know. Right over the lines, brilliant. Lauren, you should try. I should try painting one. I'll do one of Jack. Do you want to see my art? I'll quickly. I didn't do very well at school at art. Right, I'll show you my picture of a dog. Are you ready? that's my level of art. Okay. Right. I shall now set up for this approach. Right. Yeah. So yeah. It is a tailwind for a straight-in approach. Now, the weather in Bydgoszcz, it's favouring the ILS over on runway. Well, I think it's on 26 as a precision approach. But if it's 180 at 10, it's only a 1 knot tailwind for our arrival. So let me just quickly shuffle on over there. So it's a really small airport, guys. I think it's some sort of military airport. And this is the apron. It only has 3 stands. So there's 2 reasons why I want to do 08. One, we're coming in from the west. Secondly, when you land on 08, and it's a very short taxi to the terminal. If I land on 26, I've got to vacate to backtrack or taxi all the way down, which is obviously not convenient. So what we're going to do, and this is what you quite do, it's quite common at airports like this, where it's really quiet. You land straight in, weather dependent, straight in, onto the preferential runway for taxiing, and then we'll depart off 26. So land off 08, depart off 26. It's very common at airports like this. So we're going to plan for a straight in on 08. On 08, all the precision approaches are on 26. So we've got RMP or VOR. Guys, what would you like me to do? Quickly, being the essence, seeing I've only got 20 miles till top of descent. If you'd like me to do RMP or VOR, let me know in chat. I think I've got the RMP in at the moment. Or do I have anything? No, I don't have anything. RMP, VOR, RMP, 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 VOR. Must no! It's 50-50. The end slowed. Go right. I'm gonna flip this piece of paper. All right. If it lands on this excellent drawing of dog, okay, I will do the RMP. If it's not on the dog side, I will do the VOR. So dog side, I've thrown it, and it's landed on the. It's landed on the not dog side. What's that? VOR. It's a VOR approach. We're going to do the VOR. VOR. Right. So what I'll do is departure arrivals, briefing into descent. Lovely. We'll do the VOR Zulu for 08 VDM Z via Abido. Execute. Perfect. Ever so slightly brought my top of descent higher. So what I'm going to do is look at this arrival quickly. Oh, did I just see the cockpit lighting go dark? I'm going to set 100 at Luxord, so that's the restriction. So 100. So VNAV is automatically going to descend to maintain flight level 100 or above at Luxord. There's the top of descent profile. It's adding thrust to accelerate to a descent speed. Fair enough. God, a VOR and P are boring. Well, it's either that or an ILS on 26, so we'll go from there. The dog is heavier than the paper rigged. Brilliant. Dog up or dog down? It was dog up. So I can't remember what it was. Right. Okay. It was dog down. It was dog down. VOR approach, guys. So let's have a look at the arrival. Oh dear. Legs page. We've got Deckert, Luxord, which is 100 above. Bravo Yankee 809. Right turn to Abibo 6,000 feet or above. So we need to modify this arrival. You see it says 6,000 feet or above. Look at that, 4425. So we need to change that. Just have a look at the approach shot. Yeah, so what we need to do is change this to 6,000 feet or above. Now this can sometimes happen if it's not coded. And we need to make sure we bring the speed right back, because that Abibo restriction, look, VNAV wants us at 4425. So if I put 6,000 feet, out constraint Luxord, and you might get sort of, drag required after Abibo. So this restriction is keeping us very high, and it's affected our vertical profile as well. So the aircraft's now going to descend at 1,000 feet per minute until it captures the profile. Yeah, 1,000 feet. Not level off. Why is it leveling off? Come on, ZIBO. There we are. So the aircraft's going to do 1,000 feet per minute. This restriction has now kept us very high, but we need to comply with it. 6,000 feet above is what's on the chart. After that, we're going to have to manage the energy to fly this approach. So what we'll do is route from Abibo direct to Bravo Yankee 823, which is here, 14 miles from the VOR, right turn tracking 117. We can then go to 3,100 feet or above, and then to the 5.3 point. Oh, have I got the RMP? This is the, it helps if I actually select the right approach, doesn't it? Oh, I have done. So why does it not have... Oh, sorry, yeah, Bravo Yankee 822, I missed it there. Bravo Yankee 822, Bravo Yankee 819. That's the final approach fix, 2,000 feet or above. So, I'm going to put 180 knots or below at Bravo Yankee 822, which is at 10 miles, just to get the speed right back. But we are going to be held high by the constraint, which is what we know about. Right, VOR approach, and it's slightly offset, look, because the VOR is to the north of the airport. So final approach track is offset 4 degrees from runway centerline. So when we're on final, it won't line us up perfectly with the runway. Okay, because we're flying into a radial on a VOR, which is not next to the runway. So 072 is the final approach course. The actual runway QDM is 076. So you can see the 4 degree difference there. 072, 072. So we're back on our vertical profile now. Minimum's an MDA 660. Remember, we have to add 40 feet to this, so 700 feet. It's holding the path quite nicely. So 40 feet added because we cannot go below the MDA. The RVR required 1600 meters. Cav OK. MSA no terrain in the vicinity. The highest is northeast 2400. So straight in approach. The big threat being held high by that restriction at 6,000 feet. So we're going to go back to flat 5 there. Paul, yeah, fixed rings are coming in. I'll just finish setting up first. So straight in 10, 4, VMC, 3 times height. We've already started descending, so that's not a problem. So that's it. Now, VOR approach, the missed approach is climb straight ahead to 8247 miles, right turn max 220 back to the VOR to climb to 2,300. So that's coded there, 2,300. Right then, so how are we going to fly the approach? Whenever we fly non-precision approaches at my operator, we do something called a double brief, which is basically PF explaining, God, how dark is this cockpit? Explaining how we're going to fly the approach. So what modes am I going to use? Well, I'm going to use LNAV and VNAV. We've discussed the descent point, so this is where we set the minimums on the MCP 2 miles before. No cold temperature correction required. QNH blunder error, well, we can check the QNH now, so we can preset it. It's the beauty of test op sims, you know exactly what it is. So it's 1008, so that's preset as well. Actions when visual, which we will be, I'll disconnect the automatics. The runway point is coded in the FMC, but I am going to recycle the flight directors because the flight directors are not commanding us straight in. And actions, if not visual, fly the missed approach. And landing gate, we need to be stabilised by 500 feet. So, landing performance, we've got a slight tailwind. Let's grab the tablet here. So, that's under fuel weight balance, landing performance. So, I've got to go to the... What? How many runways do you want? There'll be some little grass strip. So, we just want 08. Oh, yeah, there's got some little grass strip next to it, though. Let's not try and land on that. 08 dry, surface wind is 190 at 7. Temperature is 25 degrees. That's warm in Poland today, isn't it? QNH 1008. So we're going to burn 600 kilos of fuel before we land. Landing weight is going to be 60.4. First credit, it's no credit because it doesn't affect your landing distance on a dry runway with water brake, but we will use it for brake cooling. Let's try flat 30, water brake 3. Perfect, so let's go water brake 2. Why do I want to go water brake 2? Go to the end of the runway. That's why I want to vacate. Okay, because that's where the terminal is. So flat 30, water brake 2 to get off at the end. Perfect. Taxi and apron, that's self-explanatory. Oh my goodness, look how dark the cockpit is. It is incredibly dark. It's... I mean, if I go outside briefly here, I mean, look, there's still plenty of bright. Now that looks really good. I know Microsoft Flight Sim graphics look good, but with Ortho, which is very crisp, and that doesn't look too bad. EPBY, hello. it says, how do you input fixed rings? Good question. You go to the fixed page, type in the runway you want. As long as it's selected as a departure or arrival airport, it'll recognise it and then put the distance of 10 miles. My operator, we use 10 miles as the point at which we must have flat 1 selected, and it's a good situation awareness point. And it's something called the 321 rule, which we follow, which is at 10 miles, around 200 knots, around 3,000 feet above the ground. That's why we put the 10 mile ring, and 4 miles is the last point to go gear down flat 15. Cool. Kobe Hubs, Lanzarotte's gusting 40 at the moment. Lovely. Glad I'm not going down there then at the moment. Laura, probably for gliders. Yeah, there was someone in chat saying they did their training here as well. Cool. I think I've covered everything. Any questions, let me know in chat, and we'll do the descent checklist.
Descent checklist.
Short checklist.
Pressurisation.
L. Smith, how do you find landing calculation? Go to your progress fuel page, check your fuel quantity on board, 3.4, check how much you're going to land with, 3 tons. We're going to burn 400 kilos of fuel. Whenever you select init ref, it will show your current gross weight, just subtract that difference, so 60.6.
Set
Anti-ice.
off.
Approach briefing and
Sounds so
fuel.
small.
Discussed.
IAS and alt books.
Did I select flat 30? I did.
Checked and set.
Descent checklist complete.
Perfect. So the mod's doing a really good job. And this is where I like the mods. I could get... Could someone fire up the POD G737 and put the same in here? 270 knots on path. This is what we'd expect, 2 to 2,200 feet per minute. In the PMDG, you do 1,500. But it shows you perfectly on profile. This is a proper idle path descent in the mod. And, you know, this is idle. It's just disconnected. And it holds speed well. On some days it does, on some days it doesn't in the real aircraft, so it's doing well. Mike B, yeah, I've got Reality plugin is installed, but I don't know if someone could tell me if my settings are wrong, because everyone's saying I should try it, but it is installed with the default settings. So if you go here, what is it? How do I show you my scripts? No, there you are. Reality Explain 12. It's installed with the cockpit lighting mod, but it's still far too dark in here. It's still far too dark. There's no ATC around at all. Nearest route. ATC is Ukraine. Yeah, PMDG end up high with 45% M1. Yeah, that's a little bit too high. Gregory, what's the transition level? The transition level is the point at which you go from flying a flight level with standard pressure 1013 to the local QNH. Oh, HD sim contrast should be off. Thank you. I was thinking it might be something on my side. So just before I do it, can anyone confirm that? So contrast. Hold on. Just make sure it's stepping down accurately here. So after Luxord, we can go down to 6,000 feet at a Bydgoszcz. That's fine. So 6,000 feet set QNH 1008, passing 10,200 for 6,000 feet. Oh, UNKUK is not Ukraine, sorry. Oh, it doesn't make any difference. In fact, I think it makes it worse. I'll leave it. Right, a little bit faster, 10,000. Just monitor the air. The British aircraft can be like this as well, so it's looking back at screen back to 250. Right, let's do the post-cruise checks. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights. We'll put the logo on because it's going to be dark soon. Angle of banks, 25 degrees. Pressurization, 3.5 set. Seatbelts on, recall. Checks complete. So remember, this restriction coming up, not the next one, but this EPBY 6,000 feet or above is leaving us high. We need to comply with it with the chart. You can see 6,000 feet or above. But if I delete it, VNAV's actually going to say, actually, I would like to be at 5,912. Why does that change so much? It was a lot lower, wasn't it? It was 4,000 something. I don't know why that's changed, but it's only left us 100 feet high. So, it's probably because I brought the speed back. Sorry, guys, yeah, chart's off. Chart's off. Oh no, what's the transition level for our arrival? Is that what you mean, transition level? It's by ATC, but it's there's no ATC here, so usually just default to what the FMC says. But my operator, we set the QNH when we're cleared to an altitude, regardless of the height of the transition level anyway. Ah, there we are. VNAV's now decided I'm 1400 feet high. Not a problem. So what we're going to do is go to level change. The aircraft is now no longer pitching for the path, pitching for the speed, and let's extend. What? Navigraph up again. I don't know why that keeps coming up. I'm now going to extend this speed brake to fly detents. Okay, to add some drag into the aircraft because we're also approaching 10 miles. And the 737, guys, it's a bugger to go down and slow down. If you want to do both, it's not very good at doing it because it's a very clean wing, a very slippy aeroplane. It's very nice. So now I'm approaching 220 knots. I can use flap 1. And we're going to start reducing the speed. It's very, very sensitive in pitch and level change here. Way more than it should be. Should be pitching up a lot less than that. Because I cannot go below 6,000 feet until after a BIBO. So once we've done that, a BIBO, we can now set 3,100.
1,000 to go.
This is how we do it in my operator. We step down. Let's go flap 5. Well, actually, go flap 2. Let's try flap 2, 118. We need to get back on path prior to the approaching descent point, which is 2 miles before the final approach fix. Quickly rattle off the approach checklist now. Helps if I tune the VOR. Not that you need it, but to fly a VOR approach, you must have the VOR active identified. There we are. Let's do the approach checklist.
Approach checklist.
Going to go flap 5 with speed brake. That should give me 2,300 feet per minute.
Approach 8.
Checked and set.
Approach checklist complete.
Good. So flap 5, speed brake, idle thrust should give me 2,300 feet per minute. Very nice. This is very, very accurate and true to the real aircraft. He says, come on, pitch down, 2,300. We must be on path 2 miles before the final approach fix. The final approach fix, remember, is Bravo Yankee 819, which is here. We must be on path 2 miles before that point. So I could use flap 10 if I wanted for extra drag, but it looks like it's coming in quite nicely, the path. Again, it's a very short sector, guys, so the opportunity to answer questions is a bit limited. I'm a little bit more responsive to comments after videos these days, especially if I'm out of base. I load up the laptop, so if you do have questions which you wanted to ask in the stream but I've not been able to answer, leave it in the comments section and I'll endeavour to get back to you. Oh great, there's an aircraft right behind me. Yeah, well, you know what I'm doing, guys. That's not been coordinated at all. Bye. There's no ATC. Right, so approaching the path, 3,100, 1 mile or less. We can now step down to 2,000 feet. Open VNAV, speed into vent, and I can slowly slow the speed brake now. Just be careful of the speed. The speed can run away if there's a strong tailwind with even flap 5. But it's such a slippy aeroplane. You just got to watch it. So flap 5 speed brake idle, flap 5 idle thrust. It'll hold the speed really nicely. So this drag model is very accurate to the 737. And there's the offset on the approach there. So I'm going to go flap 10 just because I want to get the speed a little bit lower. V-Skycheck, don't use common VNAV. That's easy to fix. And yeah, this has common VNAV, the ZIBO mod. That makes no difference. You've got to be on path though, on profile, 2 miles before the descent point. There we are. So, approaching the descent point now. So approaching descent, so minimum 700 feet.
25.
VNAV path, speed windows open. As soon as we pass the final approach fix at 5.3 DME, so remember we're using the VOR now for DME, not the DME of the RNAV distance here. The descent point's based off the VOR. Perfect. Canalo's not like in the chaotic 737 MCP. It's fine, it's fine. So passing the final approach fix, we need to be at 2,000 feet. Oh yeah, look at the path, 3.32. Make sure that matches the chart. PMDG. 3.32, which is here, matches the chart, which it does. So you know you're on the correct glide path angle. Right, there's the FAF. All good, so gear down, flap 15. And we'll do the landing checklist.
Landing checklist. Start switches.
Continuous.
Recall.
Checked.
Flap 25.
Armed green light.
Flap
Landing
30.
gear.
Down 3 greens.
Auto brake.
Auto brake 2 set.
Flaps.
Flaps 30 set. Green light
Very nice,
Landing
ZIBO, well
lights.
done.
on.
Landing checklist complete.
So top of the white bar, need to set the missed approach altitude. Top of the white bar is referencing the 1,000 feet above the ground. So 2,300 feet is set. Look at that. And the airfield brief says you might see 3 whites. The reason you might see 3 whites is because the PAPIs are set to 3 degrees. So disconnect autopilot, disconnect auto throttle, recycle flight directors. Very, very nice. Just watch your rate of descent there. 57% flat 30, and now we'll get onto the extended centre line. I have to say, X-Plane 12 right now looks really nice with those trees, buildings. I might be doing this in less than a week's time, or not. Checked. About 12 knot crosswind, so be careful. I'm just it blow me slightly downwind.
Minimum.
Continue.
400.
Keep sending. Quite trim.
300.
Perfect. There we are. Just watch that rate of descent.
200.
There's my shadow. Very nice. Superb.
50, 40, 30,
Check.
20,
Close.
10.
Hold the attitude. Hold it. Oh, nice. Speed brakes up. Get back on the centre line. Lower the nose gently. Reverses. There's 100 knots. Manual braking. So you need to get to the end. Let it roll. 80 knots. Stopping's assured, so 60 knots. Go back to idle reverse. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Bydgoszcz. Perfect. And that's why we did a straight in, ever so slightly favouring the reciprocal runway. Runway 26, but look at this. We can vacate and go straight on to stand. Perfect. That was a busy approach. A lot of talking, but I hope you found that interesting. AP to start, because we're going to be straight on stand. 10 knots for the turn. With the radar off, that's the captain's actions. Speed brake stowed, and we'll now do the taxi inflow. Transponder out of. Trim reset. Flaps up to 4 units. This is actually really helpful for me doing this. Really is. I was actually explaining to a TRE at my where I work, and his son has watched some of my videos, and he had a look. And he's actually getting a sim himself because he was so impressed with what you can actually practice in desktop simulators, and in the sim. I don't do a huge amount of flying, so when you go flying, it's nice to sort of see where you're going and what to practice in the sim. And this is great for this sort of stuff. Right, straight in taxi onto the apron then. There's only 3 stands. We'll go for stand number 4, go right in the middle. Tiny, tiny stand. I think, yeah, stand 4 straight ahead. This is just stock scenery, guys. Shut down engine number 2. Finish the taxi inflow. Perfect, AP's on the bus. Do miss GSX though, that's cool. Now that lighting's really cool, just a whole lot lighter please. And what we'll do, we'll take off runway 26, much shorter taxi. Wonderful. Yeah, and the taxiing in this is so much nicer in this sim. You can just control it so much more accurately. So with the stop sign, make sure you slightly overshoot it, because you want to put the nose wheel on. 2 blues, 1 red. Yeah, not bad. I slightly overshot it. But that's worked out quite well. Perfect. Let's do the transit flow. So seatbelt sign off. Isolation valve open. Turn off the taxi lights. Voice recorder on. Verify N2 is below 20%. It is. Anti-collision light off. There we are. That's close the flight with New Sky, and we'll do the transit shutdown checklist. So shutdown transit.
Shutdown checklist. Electrical.
EPU on the bus.
Fasten belts.
Off.
Yeah, stock scenery is
Pro-P.
really nice and
Off.
explained.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Yeah,
Voice
V-Sky check,
controllers.
exactly.
On.
I prefer
Air
this for
conditioning
real world
fans.
stuff.
Auto.
Engine bleed.
On.
APU bleed.
Off.
Exterior lights.
Checked.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Off.
Speed brake.
Down D10.
Flaps.
Up, no lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Start levers.
Cut off.
Weather radar.
Off.
I didn't forget a
Transponder.
thing.
Stand by.
CVR circuit breaker.
In.
Cockpit door.
Unlocked.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Perfect. So, shutdown checklist complete. It's got a... where's my 10 out of 10 flight? 9.97? What? Why? Minus 9... okay, it was ever so slightly off. I was 27 centimetres out of the perfect centerline. Yeah, I did drift a little bit off. But 9.97. That's ridiculous. Oh dear. Right then, well, that's the first sector of it. There's another airport I'd like to go check out. That's Lublin. We're going to depart from Bydgoszcz in a few minutes' time. We'll do the replay, and I'll throw you to the Be Right Back screen. And actually, what did ZIBO say? What did ZIBO rank me? 4-star? What? Excellent landing, but 4-star? Height rate of descent. Did it dip below 1,000? Yeah, probably did a couple of times. Oops. Sorry, ZIBO. Let's do the replay. And then I'll throw you to the Be Right Back screen, get things set up in the background for our second sector to Lublin. Excellent. I hope you enjoyed the stream so far, learning a few things as well. And don't forget to smash the thumbs up button. Helps out the channel. Subscribe if you want to stay up to date. Right. I haven't done a replay on this first sector for a while. Hope it all works. Cue the music. Hope it doesn't crash the sim. Because sometimes explains replay is a bit finicky. It seems okay. There we are.
400.
So you guys probably had a lot of questions there. I missed a whole lot there on the approach as well. Please ask
300.
questions. I'll try and get back to you at a later date. Bit of a crosswind. Oh, what runway? Oh, is that on the threshold of one of the other runways? Yeah. That's not good. There we are. Oh, nice. Oh, I think New Sky's being a bit harsh with my touchdown there. Because I had a crab. Yeah, I mean, by the time I actually touched down, my nose wheel was bang on the centre. Well, okay, all right, no, maximum deviation. Yeah, okay, blah blah blah. Oh well, I'll take it. Nothing like being humbled by a computer. Do love the replay tool. It's superb. Bit of a float. I did deviate a little bit. I'll give you that. I remember jamming in a bit of left rudder to get back on centre line. Right, I'll put you back in here for this wing view from a short final. And then after touchdown, I'll throw you to the Be Right Back screen so I get everything set up for the next sector. The plan is to go about 5 past 6 UK time, 10 minutes. We'll be ready to go back again for the next sector to Bydgoszcz. There's only 2 other free stands, shotgun stand 4. If you wish to join me, there are lots of other military stands if you want to join. There's no ATC events today, and yeah, I think we'll see what approach is available in Lublin shortly. Right, see you in a bit, guys. Cheers.
this time.
Thanks a lot for that little intermission, guys. Here we are, back in X-Plane 12, sun setting. The only thing I've done since you were gone was set up the GPU, put the GPU on the bus and turn off the APU, which is what we do on a normal turnaround. Sun setting, live time, live weather. Very nice here in Echo Papa Bravo Yankee, Bydgoszcz. We'll depart off the reciprocal runway now, which is what we'll do, save a significant amount of taxi time, quite common. The wind's actually favouring runway 26 for departure. Next sector to Lublin, it's only going to be 45 minutes or so, and likely another straight-in approach, traffic, weather permitting, should be no problem straight in, and it'll be a non-precision approach. Having done the VOR, we'll do the RMP next, and then we've seen a bit of both. Have a look at some of the comments. Bartek said, are those flights carried out on VATSIM? We're currently doing some IFR training approaches in Echo Papa Lima Bravo. Yes, I'll be on VATSIM, so I'll probably see you in the circuit, which is absolutely fine. I don't know who was on approach about half a mile behind me, but I did have Unicom turned up, didn't hear him say anything, so it's just easier to log off in those situations. Perfect. So let's jump on into the cockpit, back on VATSIM, already logged in. Oh, there you are. Excellent. So yeah, transit setup. So Jim would be doing the walk around. First things first, just ZIBO mod unique. We'll terminate that flight leg. We'll open up the next one. Ridiculous. So I've installed the next flight plan. So status not active. So load the new one. Load OFP. There we go. So that should be the second flight plan. 4764 for the fuel. Weather, destination is absolutely fine, so we'll just go 49 and activate. There we are. So I think that started the sequence of events. I'll shut the door because the cleaner's allowed, and there's the 4.9 tons of fuel being uplifted as we speak. Perfect. So there's no ATIS here, guys. There's no ATC at all. So just showing the weather here. In Bydgoszcz, 1805, Cav OK, it's 25 degrees, QNH is 1008, which is really nice. MFRA is 1236, which I'll set here. Is it NADP2 out of here? It is NADP2, 1236. We're due out in 25 minutes, but I should think we'll... silly zoom. I think we'll be out before then. So 1236. Again, this is computed from my...
Flight deck fuel is all loaded up and you are good to go.
So seatbelt sign can come on, and that reminds me actually I need to do New Sky again. So let's book the next flight. So free flight passengers, Alpaca Airways, Alpaca 2 Uniform Zulu, departing from Bydgoszcz, which is Echo Papa Bravo Yankee. I need to learn to pronounce this place. And then Lublin, which is Echo Papa Lima Bravo 738. I think I can actually create these before the start of the stream. Oh look, there's not a huge amount of passengers. 120 is the maximum I can take. Okay, we'll go out at 17:30. Book flights and start flight. Perfect. So that's New Sky all sorted. That's loading up in the background, and I'll give you the Fly Live overlay as well. Perfect. Cool. So weather's really nice here. We'll load up the flight plan as well. So in it, ident. We're now in Bydgoszcz, which is Echo Papa Bravo Yankee. Load in the flight plan from Datalink. Alex Russell, do you prefer the Honeywell or conventional MCP? Do any come with any benefits? No, they're both the same. It's just slightly different designs. There's no difference in functionality. Todd says, let's send a TP2 the hell out of here. Brilliant. Excellent. Load in the flight plan. Alpaca 2 Uniform Zulu. There we are. So we'll take off from the reciprocal runway. Departure. Runway 26 now. And it's the Inton 1 Hotel. This is the big gotcha. Okay, we're taking off from a reciprocal runway. Let me just select the arrival, sorry. Venice 1 Hotel. RMP. Let's go with Zulu 07. Oh, which transition is it? I'm just going to have a quick look at the arrival, guys. Bear with me. Via Lima Bravo 389. Perfect. Access execute. Yeah, the big gotcha with the reciprocal is changing your runway heading back to the other runway, so you obviously have it set to your landing runway because you usually take off in the same direction again. you forget to change it, so you get on the runway and the flight director doesn't look right. It's because you've got to reset your runway heading. So the reciprocal is going to be 256. So we'll set that both sides. Sorry, on the courses and the runway heading. There we are. Perfect. So that's done. Performance. This is an interactive zero fuel weight, so that changes as the aircraft loads up. So we'll have to type it in manually. 57.7. Fuels up. Hey? Oh yeah. Reserves on the operational flight plan for our alternate, which is Zhezhov, 2.4 tons. Cost index 30. We're cruising today at 30. I've actually updated it on. So this is 33. I've filed 31, and even that's saying 27. So we'll see. We'll see what we can do. Out constraint at 388. There's something somewhere keeping us high. We'll have a look at that later. Another steep approach here. 3.5 degrees. Course ship having my first supernumerary. Best of luck with that. What was I going to say? I can't remember what I was saying now. I can't remember. Top of climb wind then. 246 at 27. Execute. We'll have a look at the out constraint later. Average wind 225 at 17. Very short cruise segment like the first sector as well. We'll have to start setting up for the approach and the climb, which you have to do on short sectors. Top of climb is 0. Excellent. Execute. We'll get the AP fired up now. Actually, we've got our final load documentation. So, fuel benefit, guys. I've filled in the real world OPT. Let me share yoke cam. There we are. So it's all. Oh no, I need to put the takeoff weight in. What's that? 62.6. 62.6. So the real world OPT is showing we can take 22k with 37 degrees for Bydgoszcz. There it is. And the engine outside climbs straight ahead. So there you go. Look. I don't know if you can see that. That's no. For cost is less than 10 knots, so we can take the full. Well, where's my mouse gone? Full D rate. 22k, 37 degrees, 90.9. So 22k, 37 degrees, 90.9. 90.5. Now that should be showing 91. I can't do maths. 91.5. So it's showing 90.5. It's a bit of a bug, a bit of a difference there because the APU bleed isn't on with APU pressure. So it should show 90.9 with APU bleed on, which I will turn on now. And it's showing 90.5. It's not changed, so I've got the isolation valve open. Yeah, that's unusual. So it should change. So it's 0.4 difference. It was perfect earlier. Slight discrepancy now. APU on the bus. Not to worry, we'll take 90.5. Take off flat 5, CG is in 6.25 units. Speeds in the real OPT 137, 138, 143. So we can accept all those speeds. 6.25 units. Trim. There we go. 37, 37, 42. Cool, so that's all done. So just do a quick panel scan up here. We can get rid of the ground power shortly. That's all set. New elevation is going to be new flight level 310. The elevation at Lublin is 636 feet. So we'll set 650. It's getting darker out there now. Cool. Flight directors are on. Water brake to RTO. Reset fuel flow. And the frequencies and navigator are all set for departure. Perfect. Captain, have you ever hit your your knee with the trim wheel? Yes, I think every operator has for enough hours. It flipping hurts. Don't do it. Todd, what is the criteria for the engine anti-ice? Is the visible moisture 10 degrees or below? That's correct. Edward thinks, is there a Discord channel? I do have a Discord channel, but it's for members of the channel only. It just keeps it a lot more controlled and nice. So yes, no public one. Cool. So let's have a little look at our taxi and SID routing. So the reason we're not using 08 for departure, yes, we do want to go east, but look, I've got a taxi all the way down there. It's going to take 5 minutes, far quicker just to depart. Short taxi, runway 26, boof, straight onto the van is one hotel, which is basically straight ahead all the way out here to Vannes, and then make a left turn en route. So, what do we have here? Oh, is that right? Vannes One Hotel. Why does that look very different? Oh, it's the arrival. Hold on. Oh, have I not? Oh, I know why. I've got the wrong flights. Flights. No, that's right. Bydgoszcz, Lublin. And it's a Lux. No, it's an Intun One Hotel. Intun One Hotel. There we are. I found the right chart now. That looks better. Bravo Yankee 461, max 220 knots, which is coded. Bravo Yankee 464, max 230 knots, which is coded. No overshoots. Bravo Yankee 46780 above, and to into 100 above. So it's all coded. It's an RNAV SID, so there's no frequencies to tune. I've got the Bydgoszcz VOR active 12.7 as a backup. There is an ILS on 2.6 as well. You could tune that if you had to come straight back in, so that's absolutely fine. Perfect. So that's the RNAV SID covered. Taxi. I don't need to explain the taxi, but yes, push back. Or is it self-position here? No, definitely push back. What I'll do, it's a 7.4 there. We'll push back all the way onto the main apron to face in this direction. It's a bit too tight there. Onto the main taxiway, and we'll go from there. Cool. Transit before start checklist, please. Oops. I had to reset it all.
Before start checklist to the line. Gear pins.
It's going to moan at me for all this.
Tested 100%.
no,
Yaw damper.
On.
Fuel.
Anthony, did it kick your autopilot off, or was it pre-flight? No, it was in the cruise. It didn't kick the autopilot off. It just really, really hurt. So yeah, it just span. The handle was obviously away, but it just this little bit, this indentation here, can't really see. It sticks out, whacks you on the knee, and it'll break your hand. Like, it has a lot of force. So yeah, it won't break it. It'll break you.
On.
Fasten belts.
On.
Window heat.
On.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto, bleeds on.
Pressurization.
So let me just get the pushback organised here. So you're going to make it a really long push onto the taxiway, like this. I don't know how it would actually work here. I'll have to let you know next week.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you're ready.
Selector.
Auto.
Instrument.
Ground to cockpit.
Check.
Those driving up.
RTO.
Parking brake.
Set.
Stab trim cutout switches.
Normal.
Radios, radar and transponder.
Kneecapper. Excellent. That is set, and we'll put it back to 2000 and standby.
Set and standby.
Rudder and aileron trim.
3 and 0.
Takeoff briefing.
Discussed.
PA.
Complete.
Complete.
FMC CDU.
So I'll have the takeoff page again.
Set.
N1 and IAS books.
N1 and IIS auto. V-speed set.
Enter the
Stab
dark
trim.
hours of X-Plane, yes. I mean, the shadows look good,
weight
just
and
too
balance.
dark a cockpit.
Checked.
EFB.
Airplane mode and stowed.
Phones.
Off.
Flight deck windows and cockpit door.
Closed.
Doors.
Closed.
Passengers.
Okay.
Seat.
All doors and
Before
hatches
start
are closed.
checklist completed.
Ready to connect.
Excellent. So we'll just wait for the tug to be connected. I'll use this opportunity to mention tomorrow I'll be streaming again. A very small developer called Jetstream FS got in contact. This is someone who's actually flown the 737 in real life, flew the Seneca for a long time, and he's made a Seneca 2, the 200 turbo, which is the exact aircraft I did my IR multi-engine rating on back in 2010, 2011. Available for X-Plane 12, so he sent it over. He's given me a copy to give away as well, and we're going to be in Mexico, which is where he also has some scenery products as well. So he sent me over his Ortho package, which you can purchase, which is really good.
Connected
This
and
small local
bypass pin
airport.
inserted. Release parking brake.
So we're going to fly from a really small airport near Mexico City to Acapulco, or whatever the song, however the song is. I can't play the song for copyright reasons, but that's where we're going. It's about an hour flight. Right, below the line, backs off, anti-collision light on, parking brake is set, transponder, it should be out off already, checked complete. Just have a little look around. Yes, we're all clear, and there is the 7.4 blocking.
Starting pushback, and you may start the engines.
Acapulco, thanks Hayden. Will the video be yellowish then? Probably. But yeah, that'll be about 5 o'clock tomorrow. 5 o'clock tomorrow. I'm planning to stream. Perfect. Hey, look at that. An hour 50 into the stream and we're on our second sector. That ain't bad. I think I've had some streams where an hour and a half of still in the ground of the first sector. Starting engine 2. You got it, Edo. Just play it at home whilst watching the stream, that'll be fine. N2. Wall pressure. N1. Let's see what ZIBO actually has. There's quite a few things he does have here. One day we should do that in the mod. It's the PMDG. But all his failures are very serious. I think he had one for flaps. Electric side. I want to do one for trailing edge flap asymmetry. No, it's not there, I don't think. No. Oh no, I've turned it off. I don't want that. Right, starter cut out. One change number 2. 2, 4, 6, 3. 2 stable. Starting 1. It's a bit of residual EGT from the last sector. That's quite common. N2. Oil pressure. And 1. Fuel in. Superb. Free scratch, you trained on flap asymmetry. I thought there were many lines of defence for that. There are. There's things that should hopefully prevent an asymmetry, and even if an asymmetry occurs, something called the FSEU, Flap Slats Electronic Unit, which will stop an asymmetry from developing. But yeah, there might be a slight asymmetry just before that kicks in. But yeah, a significant asymmetry should never happen. But if you have a trailing edge flap asymmetry, the FSEU slows is something called the trailing edge flap bypass valve after you've moved the alternate flap switch. And those flaps, you cannot move the trailing edge flaps again for the rest of the sector. They are staying where they are, whatever they're at. Up 1, 25, 30, whatever combination. And you can still extend the leading edge flaps using the standby hydraulic system. So starter count 1 and 2 stay.
Operation complete. Please set parking brake.
Good. I'm doing it before taxi flow as I squint and try and see what's going on in here. Please explain, fix this cockpit lighting. It's the only thing which is really... Yes, you heard me go. Flight controls. Oh, that's an interesting angle you've got there. Left and right. Perfect. Pretty cool. Blank the lower DU. And then we'll do the before taxi check. So I'm just adjusting yoga cam. That's a bit better. Grumble, grumble. Bydgoszcz, where are all the parts? Where's 321, A321s? Oh, are they all parked? There are a lot of 321s parked here.
Tower is disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. I'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Apart from the fact we can't see anything in the cockpit, it will be a nice sunset departure. Right, let's do the before taxi checklist.
Before taxi checklist. Generators.
On.
APU.
Off.
Start switches.
Continuous.
Propeat.
On.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Air conditioning.
PEX auto, bleeds on.
Isolation valve.
Auto.
Oh wow, I didn't know that.
Flips 5 required and selected. Green light.
Stab
On
trim.
here.
Set.
Start levers.
Idle detect.
Flight controls.
Checked.
Recall.
Checked.
Before taxi checklist complete.
Perfect. So, they're the Pratt & Whitney. Interesting. Yeah. I've heard about this. Right. Unicom out of here. Bydgoszcz traffic, Alpaca 2, uniform Zulu, taxiing to runway 26. I think this guy's just watching, to be fair. He's already been in chat. Right, so clear left, clear right, config. No config warning. Do it before takeoff checklist.
Before takeoff checklist to the line. Config.
I mean, it makes no difference
Flat.
that these lights just don't do
Flips
anything.
5 set. Green light.
Stab trim.
Set.
Takeoff briefing.
So, Pax Auto, bleeds on, V-speed set for departure, 37, 37, 42 on the MCP. The SID is going to be the Inton 1 Hotel. It's just basically climbing straight ahead to Bravo Yankee 461, max 220 knots, left turn to Bravo Yankee 646, NADP 2, engine out SID, will just climb straight ahead to the MSA, which is 3,000 feet. So,
Reviewed.
Cabin.
Secured.
Before takeoff checklist completed to the line.
well, that was a short taxi, but it's what it's like at certain airports. Oops, I didn't set a stop altitude on the SID. There isn't one, so we'll go straight up to our cruise. Flight level 310. Perfect. So, just have a little look on the map. Yeah, no one around apart from the Jumbo. Alpaca 2 uniform Zulu to Bydgoszcz traffic taking off runway 26. Perfect. So below the line. So MCP is set. Transponder TARA. Strobe lights are on, and we'll just do a checklist.
Before takeoff checklist below the line. MCP.
Set.
Transponder.
TARA.
Strobe lights.
On.
Landing lights.
On.
Before takeoff checklist complete.
Perfect. We'll do another rolling takeoff then. Timing. Barely see anything in the cockpit, but it'll do. Ah, lovely. The sun is just set. I didn't need an ortho for Lublin after all. So 40%. Perfect. Just turn on the sound slightly. Perfect. Stabilised. Set takeoff thrust. 90.4. Takeoff thrust sets. Indications normal. Right rudder coming in.
89.
Checked. Resport pressure. A little bit right on into wind. So only 8 knots.
D1. Rotate.
Hand off. Rotates. Very nice. 8 on into wind. Neutralise the rudder. Perfect. Absolute perfect. So if you take off at Microsoft Flight Sim, the inputs I made were like at a 30 knot crosswind, you do the same, but for a 10 knot crosswind, not bad at all. LNAV, see a bit of a crown. Oh, fantastic. Mustard yellow sunsets. So it's 1,000 feet, bug up. Don't forget to turn the weather radar on, entering the runway. So already above VT plus 15, which is the wide bug, but we just need an accelerating trend. So flight director should be commanding a little bit of a lower height. About should be around 10 degrees here, flat one. Don't know why it's commanding a higher altitude. Get ready for the left turn at Bravo Yankee 641. So, yeah, the flight director, this is a bit. It's not quite right here. Should be commanding a lower attitude, too high an attitude here, which is why if I follow it, we're not really accelerating. I can barely see the leading edge flap transit light. It's so dim. I think it's just extinguished now. Flaps up, no lights. So VNAV set standard. Passing 36, flight level 310 as the 230 knots now being commanded. All those control column forces. There we are. Just like doing a continuous turn. Quite get it in trim. It's quite hard. There we go. That feels good. Cool. Command A, and we can now do the after takeoff checklist. Gears off, or brakes off. What a lovely evening. Air conditioning and pressurization 2.2. Should be around there too, that's fine. Climbing auto. Configured set. Release the crew. After takeoff checklist is complete. So once that first turn's complete, max 230 knots, which pretty much is we can delete restriction, which it's already done. It's just sequence of waypoint now, 250 knots. Bye bye Wizz Air temporary graveyard, says Flying Dylan. Yes. Oh, it's cool to fly there. Looks great with the ortho. Maybe or maybe not I'll see them next week. I'll have to let you know. That is perfect. Look at that lighting and atmosphere. That looks really, really good. Love that. That's great. And we can go full climb now. There we go. Full climb. And we do have... Oh, actually got quite a decent level segment there. Cool. That should hopefully give us a little bit more time to set up for Lublin, because that's a very short sector. We'll do the RMP this time round. Yeah, this is where the cockpit lighting is not great in the sim. During the day it's acceptable. Dawn and dusk it's barely readable. At night the lighting's fine. At night time after the sun is set, the lighting is actually really, really nice. But it's just this transition from day to night, dusk and dawn, it's just the cockpit lighting goes a bit crud. Do you still have that shader plugin active that made the lighting even darker before? Yeah, I do list it. Maybe I should turn it off. I don't know. Right, passing 106 of flight level 310. Let's do the pre-cruise check. So fuel 4 pumps, lights, logo can come off. APU is off. Pressurization 3.8 set. Increase the passengers recall. Make sure we're watching 1215, which we are. You have a listen in as well, Jim. Log on to CPDLC. Checks complete. It's like this. This is a bright yellow light. This should be bright yellow. As in, at this time of day, you'd actually have to cover your eyes. It's been burning your retina out. Instead, it's just a dull, dim yellow. Now, pre-cruise check's complete. Dome light's on, Alex, believe it or not. That's the dome light on. I'll turn it off. Makes absolutely no difference. You need to enable you shouldn't have to rely on a proper plugin. No, it's so enable. That makes it worse. Enable global illumination. It makes it worse for me. I'd say that's even worse. Okay, that's better. Okay, that's better. My apologies. Yeah. Alright, my apologies. That's okay, that's much better. Much better. That's good. Thanks for that suggestion. You see, someone last stream Black Shark told me to turn that off. Someone said turn that off. It's no good. That is actually very good. That's what I'd anticipate. Well, I mean, the backlighting is fine. This, though, is now... How am I meant to see a master caution illuminate? That should be a bright yellow light. It still needs a lot of work, but that is considerably better. Considerably better. Thanks for that. I can actually now see, yes. It is now a bit darker outside. Alright, that's good. We'll take that. Ganewala, hello. Just started flying on VATSIM. Was confused before because my sim brief route didn't contain an approach, only the arrival. Our approaches applies discretion for the runway use. Good question. So yeah, sometimes some airports they'll have a star which doesn't necessarily take you to an approach. Now, no flight plan will tell you, you know, RMP Yankee or ILS Zulu or whatever. You need to get the ATIS. The ATIS will tell you what approach you can expect, but not even that usually can happen. They should tell you the landing runway, and it's a mixture of route knowledge, and you get to anticipate what to do. As I said, I'm very fortunate that I know you don't have access to it, but at our destinations, the company creates briefing packs, and it will tell you expect RMP Zulu or expect ILS Yankee, but it can change. What's RXP do? It does something to a lighting Kiwi flies. Plug in via Fly with Lua to fix the dark cockpits and explain. Hi Tobias, doing very well. How are you? Thanks for coming in. 737 Flight Sim Guide Captain. Have you ever been in Poland in real life? Yes, I've flown into most Polish destinations. A couple more to tick off, which I might do in the not too distant future. But great to see them in the sim today. And I've operated out of some Polish base a long time ago. I did a week. Cannot confirm or deny this, maybe, in Wrocław, long time ago. Yeah, lovely country. Falcon, flight sim. Question: if you had the chance to interview for a major airline, but you had just started flying for another minor airline, would you go for the interview? It really depends on what you want in life. I'm very fortunate to have the flexibility. If I wanted to change airline, I probably could quite easily and fly long haul. But for me personally, at my stage of life, I like it exactly as it is. I don't want to upset the equilibrium. Anyway, a very small part of me goes, oh, I'd love to fly a wide-body jet. I'd love to say I'm flying a 777, 78, something like that, 74 really, or anything like that. But it's what's important in life is I love flying. I love my job, and I love streaming and doing content on Flight Sim. But I have a lot more going on in my life now, which is very important to me. So I have hobbies. You know, I'm engaged. I'm getting married next year to someone who's really caring and really looks after me. And you know, I'm very, very lucky to have met someone like that in my life. You know, I have a beautiful dog and a lovely home. I live 15 minutes from work. Why upset the equilibrium? You know, I'm very zen, let's say, right now. So I wouldn't change anything to upset that equilibrium. Changing airline would. So yeah, if I was 10 years younger and I just got into the airline, and let's rephrase that question, if I'd say got a small job at a local airline, only has a few aircraft doing cargo operations, and an opportunity came up to fly for a large airline, and I was single, I had no commitments back home, then yes, I'd answer that question differently. So there you go. And Tamanga, if you fly long haul, you'll barely have time to stream. No, if I flew long haul, I would certainly struggle, I think, to create content. And I have struggled the last sort of 6 months since I became a TRI, and that's because as part of the process of becoming a TRE, I've had a lot of studying to do, a lot of sims, a lot of prep, and to any people who are thinking of becoming an SFI or a TRI or airline, you know, really do encourage you to go for it. But the first sort of 6 to 12 months, you're learning again. I was an SFI previously, but you're learning again. But now I've done most of the sim sessions and the type rating, I don't have to prepare as much as I did before, so I have more time available. Rodrigo, how often do you sleep at home in a month? Great question. Typically, at my operator, if you're at your home, if you live at your home base, you can go for quite some time being at home. Generally, we don't do many overnights. Having said that, we do occasional blocks at a base. So, for example, in the last 2 months, I've been out of base quite a bit. But that's because I've been on a training course to become a line training captain. So I flew out of one base to do ground school at one training centre. I've been doing my line training flying out of different bases as well. So I was out of base 2 weeks ago. Next week, I'm out of base again for 5 days. But that should settle things down after that. But it's just part of a job. If you want to stay at home every night, you've got to accept the fact that becoming an airline pilot, you can't do that. And I'm very fortunate now to be based at a training centre where I live not too far away from it. So yeah. But the thing is, you've got to be flexible. So, for example, if I'm on standby, I could get a phone call at any point on my standby duty to be shoved into a taxi to any base in the network and then operate. God, look at the cockpit lighting now. How much better is that? Sorry to change the topic there. I was just saying that's great. I must not change the settings now with that flyover blue app. But yeah. Paul James, great words from your father. Fantastic. Alex Russell, what has been the furthest diversion you've ever had to do? Good question. How many diversions have I done? First one as a first officer, was very short. No, I've never done any significant distance. I once diverted. Last time I diverted was January last year, over a year ago, and that was from undisclosed airport in France to Bordeaux, and I did have to fly quite a distance, but it was sort of planned because the visibility was forecast to be way below minimums, and the ILS was out. It was a VOR, so I actually liaised with operations before, and I have to say they did a fantastic job. So he contacted ops, and they were aware already. You know, I said, look, flying into XYZ, the weather's this, I don't think I'm going to get in, where do you want me to go? And they said, look, ultimately it's your decision, you know, as captain on route, you decide where to go. But they said, look, if you do divert, you know, if you can get into this airport, that'd be great. If not, just try and contact us via handling. So yeah, we got to the airport destination, and lo and behold, yeah, visibility was way below minimums. It wasn't forecast to improve, so we spent 10 minutes to hold, contact the company, said, yeah, we'll go to alternate. And by the time we landed, the buses were already organised, so the passengers literally off the plane, on the bus then, and there are, you know, by the time we took off again, the buses for the other airport had already arrived, so it was well planned. Oh yeah, Angler Bank 10, perfect. Awesome, fantastic lighting. Ignore that, that's a dodgy ortho tile by the looks of it. I don't know what happened there. What on earth is that? I don't know, some dodgy ortho tile I've downloaded in Poland. There we are. Now that is much better with the cockpit lighting. That looks really nice as well in the Cavo K conditions. Much, much better. You do need that mod. Fly over there we are in the cruise. Itch It Scratch It, thank you very much. 52 months as a member. 52. I'm trying to work that out. How many years is that? So over 6 years. 6 years and a few months. Thank you so much. I mean, I don't even have an alpaca badge for that membership. Itch It Scratch It. Only goes up to 4. Thank you very much, buddy, for your support. Pretty much since the start of the channel. Thank you. Very good. Sleepy Lab, 49 months. All the long-term members are popping up here. Incredible. Thank you very much for your support, buddy. Really, really appreciate it. Sorry, I can't do maths. 52. Yeah, sorry. Yeah. 6, 12, yeah, 4 and a bit years, not 6 and a bit years. Oh, that would be 60 months, wouldn't it? Yeah, 4 years, 4 months. Yes, don't follow my mathematics. Right, everyone's picking in there. Itchy Scratchy, Sleepy Lab, list them in as well. Not quite that long. Cat, 47 months. Yeah, so 5 years, 60 months, thanks. It's hard streaming and doing maths. Oh dear. Oh, well, everyone's picking up here now. Gabrielle HD, thank you very much for your support as a continued member, and you've gifted a membership. That's gone to I don't even see who it's gone to. Streamlabs saying Harry Quinlan, you've been gifted a membership. Welcome on board. And the M71, I can work that one out. That's 4 years. Well, you've told me. Thank you. 48 months. Really appreciate it, buddy, as well. Steve M, 2 years. Members. I'm gonna have to mute you all. Matt, 15 months. Harry Quinlan saying thanks for joining as well. Oh dear, oh dear, oh dear. Brilliant. I need to do some work. I can just about see the ortho still. What river's that? Thank you. Dumbledore, you've used your 48-month message a week ago. Yep, I'm going to wait next month, buddy. Larry, thanks, 17 months. Greetings, Captain. Awesome solar clips. I've been seeing some of the pictures by members in the US today. Witamy Wipolski, welcome to Poland. Very good. Thank you. And is it John? I can't remember how you pronounce your name. He says that's a lot of members. 2 members of the member, buddy. Thank you. Harry, what did you say the mod was for the skies? Many noises. It's called Reality XP Explain 12. Check out Q8 Pilot. It's got a really good video on it. Perfect. Right, I best do some work. Descent page 250 below 100. Forecast winds in. Let's fetch those from the flight plan. Nightbot had a workout there. This has been getting the shocks from the autopilot disconnect sounds, yes. Still 82 miles. 82 miles from Bydgoszcz now. Ah, what happened? Where's the load? Oh, I think I cleared it. Oops. Do your fuel and time checks en route as well. Do a quick fuel check at Sorix whilst we wait for the flight plan to load. Winds. So 15 minutes airborne, about 18, maybe 17. So a couple of minutes late. We should have 3.2 on board. We've got 3.5. We should have burnt 1.6. We burnt 1.4, so we save plenty of fuel in this sector. Lucas, how are your cockpit panels so bright? Need to turn them down. Actually, now we're a little bit getting a little bit darker. So let's turn them down slightly. There we go. It's actually that plugin's working really well. I spoke too soon. The cockpit lighting just changed again. Now it's beginning to illuminate the back panel as well. Hello from Germany. Yesterday we had 28 and today rain 9. I don't get it. The weather is so balmy. In the UK today we've had rain, sun, wind, calm. It's just, we just want some settled nice weather in the UK. It's been horrible. Anyway, winds are in. We're going to do the RMP approach now. So 2 normal position approaches we've flown. No runway point coded here, so it's going to be RW07 on the fixed page. 10 and 4. Max continuous thrust here in the cruise. 31,000 feet, so 3 times your height is 93. Roughly where top descent is. We can see it's a lot later actually because of the long arrival that we have to do, which is quite normal. Let's have a look at that star now. So starting at Venice, we're flying the Venice 1 hotel. Why should I just, I'm just going to do the Venice 1 Lima, look straight in. There's no ATC. Executes. There you are. So that you coordinate that with ATC, the previous sector. So we'll do the Venice 1 Lima now. Flight level 100 or above at Lima Bravo 421 and Venice, which checks. None of these I don't think keep us high. Let's just delete that temporarily. Yeah, 104. That's perfect. There is now a constraint at LB 421. So LB 421. Look. Oh no, we already checked that one. LB 422, 7,000 or above, checks in the FMC. 423 and 394, 5,000, 3,500. And then it goes up again. I guess that's the arrival. Interesting. I need to change the transition, don't I? That's why. So I still had that transition from the south. So we now want Lima Bravo 394. Why did I say 389? Where's we got 394? 394. Why have we got 394 and 384? I've definitely got the latest AirRack installed. Let's go 384 and just check it out. That's a mess. Lima Bravo 394. The RNAV transitions. Maybe it's the other RMP approach. No, there's only one. Interesting. So what I'm going to do is after Lima Bravo we've got 394. Let's just join them up. So after 394 we want 398. Oh, where's that? What's going on? None of these seem to match. Oh, have I put the Oh, thank you. This is coded differently to ours. So VDM is VOR. Thanks. Still got a loop there. But, oh yeah, I don't want that transition, that's why. Thank you very much. Yeah, RMP looks different in our FMCs. That's why I'm not recognising it. That's better. 422, straight in 423. Enter 394. Perfect. 394. Direct. 394. Wonderful. We then go back up to 5,000. Because I've got the correct approach in now, you can see it's correct there now. 5,000 feet or above. We then have LB 394. Again, operators, SOPs. What's the big threat here? Just like with the last approach as well. Can you see that there? It's not too bad, but it's something to consider. constraint at 423, so this is probably keeping us a little bit high. Yeah, by 100 feet, it's not a problem. We can monitor the energy on the way down. So straight in, RMP approach. There's no frequencies to tune, but we'll tune the Swidnik VOR anyway as backup. Turn down the tunnel lighting now. Lighting at night is absolutely fine. It's just during the day. It's dawn and dusk. Courses are 071. And 071. MSA again, no issues. Highest is to the southeast, 2,900. So straight in. Final approach fix is Lima Bravo 398 at 3,000 feet. So we'll check that in the FMC. There it is, Lima Bravo 398, 3,000 feet or above. And then it's a 3.3 degree path in the FMC, and there it is, that matches the chart, 3.3 degrees. It's a little bit steeper. The PAPIs, we always want to check the PAPI angle out. Yeah, you see the PAPI? They're at 3.5 degrees, so you might actually see 3 reds. The PAPI angle is slightly steeper than the approach, so something to consider is the difference between the PAPI angle and the approach angle, because they will give you different PAPIs, but when you disconnect and fly, the PAPIs are what's master. So it's all coded, 3.3 degrees. We've got a runway point coded now. If the runway point is coded, it's straight in and with no offset, which is the case here. You don't need to recycle the flight directors. Reset MCP altitude, so we'll go down to, again, 100. Bit deja vu, isn't it, from the first sector? There we go. So straight in, we do our briefing to explain how we're going to fly it. It's going to be exactly like the VOR, the same modes, LNAV, VNAV. Descent point will have 398 as the final descent point. Set the missed approach altitude top of the altitude window. For RNAV approaches, you need dual FMC. The best way of checking that is you see FMC left and FMC right. If they both say left and left, that's not dual FMC, a single FMC, but dual FMC is required for RMP approaches. You have to have progress page 4 up to monitor the progress. Maximum RMP 0.3, maximum error is half that, 0.15. Lots of things to consider, but otherwise we've discussed everything. What also is great about, well, it doesn't actually make much difference here, but look at the apron. The apron's located on the centre of the runway. There's no parallel taxiway. I can tell you landing at 07 to make Alpha is a little ambitious. So you'd have to see airports if they have to make you go to the end, or if they can let you do a 180 backtrack at the runway. So I'm looking at the information I have, which you don't have access to. It says caution, the VOR DME is not located on the threshold, so it reads differently. Be careful. Okay, there's no ATC here, no radar. Steve Evans says no ATC defect, you do something weird. That is true, but genuinely there's no radar available here anyway, so you have to fly procedurally. There we are. No, it's all good. No, so we're not going to make that exit. I was just looking at some additional notes here. Bank angle 25. So yeah, what we'll do is you'd ask ATC, look, can I backtrack 180 on the runway? But some airports, they don't like you doing that because it turfs up the runway taxiway. So what we'll do is what you'd have to do is go to the end and do 180. But imagine here, you can do a 180 wherever you like. So we'll plan to stop as soon as possible. So we'll go flat 40, order break 3, and bring it to a stop. 180 backtrack, vacate Alpha on stand. So let's look at the landing performance. Grab the weather. Oh, look at this evening, fantastic. So surface wind, it's 1302. Temperature, it's a balmy 21 degrees. QNH is 1012. Flat 40. There we are. The flat 40 order break 3. Use that much runway. Don't get max auto, it's going to cook the brakes. So flat 40, order break 3. I didn't plan for flat 40 as well. Secondly 10 reverse. Cool. Apparently going to land in 10 minutes. Oh yes, this ETA is just based off your present present speed as the crow flies, so that will slowly trickle up. Hello Flying Sim, what setting are you using for sim coders head shake? Question to him, actually. There you go, take a screenshot of that, buddy. I find that's quite nice. I don't like the G-force effects, and I don't like the look ahead effects and the taxi look ahead. Mike, BMDG still has some work to do on the EFB performance page. It looks good, but doesn't look right. Yeah, it's a bit basic, isn't it? But it works. The functionality's good. It's great to have a takeoff performance calculator. Now that looks fantastic, and you can tell you're over Poland because you get all the fields are long lines of fields everywhere in Poland. Looks like that. Alexander Horby, only captain from Italy. Ciao. Hope you're doing well. Good luck, Jordan, with your settings. Steve, 21 in Poland. The weather in Europe is all over the place, isn't it? UK is really yeah. The weather's so changeable at the moment. We've just got you know, the low pressure system after low pressure system driving in. I want to cut out the grass in the garden, but it's sodden. I went to cut it yesterday, but honestly, it's so squelchy and so wet. I just don't want to do it. It's going to clog up the mower. VNav's doing a really nice job with his descent as well. Looking good. The mod, this version of the mod, the latest, I don't know what version it is exactly, it's in the video description, but I can look here. 4.01.12 it's nice. And jumping into Explain again, I've been doing a few Microsoft Flight Sim streams, it's nice to get back in this sim, I don't know, it's just nice. Mavericks, do you find flat 40 easy to land in the PWG? I find it so much easier to follow checklist hold than flat 30. Yeah, landing in Microsoft Flight Sim is a trivial affair. It's okay. I can't really tell the difference between all the different flap settings, whereas flat 40, the aircraft is a lot more responsive in roll. It becomes quite sensitive, which I think is quite well modelled and explained. But yeah, the real plane flat 30 is a little bit easier to land with than flat 40. Yeah, and then flying Robin, all this for free. Yeah, this is just Explain 12, and everything else I'm using today is free. Yeah, just Explain 12. Ortho, the plugins, doesn't cost so much. Alexander, have you flown into Sardinia? I've never flown into Sardinia. Never been. I've got a petrol mower, Steve, to be fair, and I know it will work fine in the wet. I've got a... is it Mountfield? It's a good mower. I've had it for a few years. And I know it'll carve through it, but it's... I've got... it's quite long. But it's quite patchy because of the dog. So my plan is mow it. It's new lawn, so I can't scarify yet, but I'm going to aerate it. And put some topsoil down and some new seed, just to see how it fares in the patchy parts. And then I'll what's the word? Scarify it next year. Right, seatbelts coming on. Perfect, ZIBO, really nice. And for anything, I'd say maybe should be doing a few extra feet per minute, maybe 2,000. Well, no, I suppose 273 knots. This lighting is wonderful at this time of day. Very quiet on VATSIM, no events today, unfortunately. The reason I departed from Berlin was actually going to depart a little bit later, and there's ATC in Berlin tonight, but I had a change of plans today, so I'm streaming a bit earlier. I need to be done by 7:30, so doing well. Oh, guys, I haven't told you. I've let the members know. I'm going to RIAT this year, Royal International Air Tattoo. Really, really excited. I've not been to the air show, or any air show, for years. Since I was pretty much over 10 years. More than maybe 15. But yeah, I booked tickets to RIAT with my fiancée and her mum. So I thought we'd take a day. Really looking forward to it. V-Sky check, so I've heard. But yeah, don't forget tomorrow I'll be in the Seneca 2 in Mexico. Jetstream FS very kindly sent one over. He's given me a copy to give away as well, so there'll be a giveaway tomorrow's stream. And we'll be flying from... let me get this right. Make a note of this if you wish to join me tomorrow. From a very small airstrip to Acapulco. Acapulco. I did have to pronounce that as well. But our departure point is a small GA airfield called, making my notes here, Mike Juliet Charlie at Atizapan, which I think where the developer has his Seneca, or flew his Seneca from. Captain Flaps 15, what's that green needle on your display that keeps popping up and going? That's the RMI pointing towards the VOR. It's not quite in range yet. Papa Delta, is that correct? Oh no, it's picking up a different one. What's the VOR? 12.2. Oh yeah, I'm supposed to showing the right frequency. You're going to get a nice strong green needle now, pointing directly to the airfields. There we are. Cool. So let's monitor the arrival. Just vote for head Venice, 100 or above. So again, we'll keep that restriction, 100, and step down as per SOP. And there is the airport, and that's what it looks like on a super clear night. You can sometimes see straight in. It's great. First house, cool, noted.
1,000 to go.
Checked. So we've got to maintain 100 or above. Let's go for the S-1000s. Bring the speed back to 250. Cannot go below 100 until passing Lima Bravo 421, and then I can step down to 7,000 feet. QNH is 1012, which I can preset now. Do the post-cruise checks. Fuel, 4 pumps, lights. Oh, it's just gone really dark. Logo, Angler bank, 25 pressurization set, seatbelts on. Vehicle checks complete. Cool. Step down to 7,000 feet. Let's just go level change here. We've been held high as we expected with the profile and that restriction. So let's go level change. 7,000, set QNH 1012. Passing 9,800 for 7,000 feet. And the standby altimeter is set. So again, we'll just monitor our descent profile. Again, that's a little bit aggressive here by the mod. Shouldn't be going straight down as much as that level change. With only 2 to go. Just going to bring the speed back to 220. It's a bit aggressive in pitch and level change as well. As I bring the speed back, I should be pitching a little less aggressively than that. Yes, VSD on, very good. Oh, I need to update my night log. Got another 1,000 hours in the book.
1,000 to go.
Good, that's fine. We'll put the speed back for the restriction again. We've got to be out above 7,000 feet. 1 mile before, we can now step down to 5,000 feet. What I could do is go VNAV with common VNAV, but it's actually bitten to path. That's fine, so the thrust will come up now. That's fine. Where's the decel from 240? Interesting, and I don't want it to do that. Level change. I'm trying to find the decel from 245. What's happened to VNAV's having a bit of a wobbly here. Did that restriction keep me very high? Not as high as that. Yeah, I'm looking high actually, 7,000 straight in. Let's go flap 1. We'll fix this. Flat 5, 180. Let's see where that puts us. We can't go below 5,000 feet until 1 mile before. The profile jump was significant. I thought it was only a couple of 100 feet at the testing phase. Can you hand fly all the way down, says Cat? A bit high. Let me recover the energy first, otherwise my workload's going to go out the window. 1 mile before, step down to 3,500 feet. And after that, we can go down to 3,000. So flat 5 speed brake, that should work out quite nicely. Go to best over descent approach.
Descent checklist. Pressurization.
So land out 650.
Set.
Anti-ice.
Off.
Approach briefing and fuel.
Discussed.
Dude, are you
IAS
really a
and
737 pilot? I know.
Checked and set.
Based off this approach,
Sense
I'd be
checklist
questioning it. I'd be questioning it. Approach checks.
Approach checklist.
Flat 10.
Altimeters and
Bit
instruments.
high here.
Set and cross check.
So it's an RMP
Approach
approach.
8.
We've got the nav aids as well.
Checked and set.
Approach checklist complete.
Good, so flap 10, we need to have VNAV path by the final approach fix, which is at Lima Bravo 398. So I left it a bit late, got myself a bit high, but it is coming back nicely. Good, so VNAV path, speed into vent. Should be VNAV speed here. Was it gone to approach logic already?
1,000 to go.
Checked. Step down to 3,000 feet. I got myself a little bit high there, but we've still got a few miles.
1,000 to
Yeah, I don't
go.
know why I stayed in path. I should have gotten speed there. So we've got, oh, look at that, just back on path. About 0.5 of a mile left. All good, all good. There we are. Right, approaching descent. Oh, I didn't set my minimums. Oh! So we're going to fly on our VNAV minimums, CAT C 990. Don't need to add any increment. So 1,000 feet, speed brake stowed, VNAV path speed into vent, and what was it, 990? That's what let's do with us.
2,500.
Ah! Perfect, managed the approach fix done. Good, next final approach fix. Lima Bravo 398 at 3,000, and then it's a 3.3 degree path, so we definitely want flap 10 out for that. Good, the aircraft's level off because it won't descend below the FAF. There we are. FAF, 3,000 feet, no flags. Altitude checks, no flags. Get down, flap 15. Match speed, landing checklist, 2 flaps.
Landing checklist. Start switch.
Flap 25 because we need flap 40 today.
Cool.
Nothing.
Oops.
Checked.
It's 20 knot crosswind here, lovely.
Up, green light.
Landing gear.
Down 3 greens.
Auto brake.
Auto brake 3 set.
Flaps.
Nothing.
So select flap
Flaps
40.
40 set. Green light.
Landing lights.
On.
Landing checklist complete.
Perfect. So distance of 4 miles from the runway. Just do a quick altitude distance cross check. We need to be at 2,100 feet. 4 miles, use this distance here, 2,100, bang on profile. Next is 3 miles at 1,730 feet. Only thing we've got left to do is set the missed approach altitudes, which is 5,000 feet, top of the white bar. Perfect, we set that now, 5,000 feet. Set. Good, good land check is complete. No ATC, unfortunately. Cool. So, target reference for us about 62% flat 40. Right on the front off. Nice 20 knot crosswind here.
1,000 feet.
What it said variable at 2 knots. Was it 1302 on the meta? Lovely. Good, so you can use the flight director as an RMP approach because the runway point was coded. It will give you guidance all the way down to touchdown. Sometimes it's not perfect like an ILS, so you might need to look through them or recycle them. Thrust is good. This crosswind is slowly dying back now. 15
500.
knots. A little bit off centre line here. Lined up with the runway edge.
300. Minimum.
He's fly directed to the crap. Continue. That's better.
200.
Lights look fantastic. That looks brilliant in the sim. Keep sending. Tad fast.
100.
What's our rate of descent?
50. 40.
Yeah.
30. 20.
Very hot.
10.
Oh my god, what's happened? The speed breaks up well off centre line. Crikey. That was an awful landing. 100 knots. I dived down and I got a bit high and then I need to have a look at the sensitivity settings. That's my excuse. Manual braking. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lublin. Crikey. Yeah, I got a bit high at the end and I just made a tiny pitch down and all of a sudden I was doing over 1,000 feet per minute around 100 feet. Ah. Right, 180 on the runway, all the way over to this edge. Make sure you get your speed right back. And this aircraft's obviously a beaut to taxi in the sim. Not a problem at all. 45 metre wide, so more enough length available. Yeah, got a bit high there. Fast. The speed was okay to Manga, maybe a few knots above the target speed, but yeah, I've had better. Off centerline. I don't know if anything's happened to the input on the flight model or anything, but I'm sort of doing what I always do. And we've landed in 30-40 knot crosswinds, but yeah, I got a bit off the centerline around 300 feet corrected, and then I got a little bit high around 150-200 feet. It started getting high, and I made quite a late correction, an excessive correction, which is why we got a sync rate warning, which is really realistic. Sync rate is when sort of the rate percent's in excess of 1,000 feet, quite close to the runway, which is a terrain caution. It doesn't require, you know, any particular terrain escape or anything like that. It just simply says in the QRH, oh yes, correct your flight path to stop the warning, which we did. But yeah, the landing was okay in the end. It was just a bit off the centre line. I'm out of practice. Right, cleaning up. Other professional streamers are available. APU. That's gone very yellow. Excellent. And we'll just go straight into understand. There's nothing here. Very quiet. Apron is just this. That's the airport. There we are. Let me zoom on in towards the plane. We're still over in airport. Let's go straight in on stand 5. Perfect. Let's see how I get punished by New Sky for that approach. Probably severely. There we are. Shut down 2. I'll let you know how I fare on next week. Perfect, that'll do. Right, parking brake is set. APU's now available. What if I turn the dome light on now if it makes a difference? Yeah, that's better. A bit better. It's usually a bit brighter. 2 blues, 1 red, engines 10. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Lublin. We'll do the shutdown flow here. Perfect. Excellent. Close the flights. Let's just see how we did on New Sky. Well, actually, I'll run the shutdown checklist first.
Shutdown checklist.
Full
Fuel
shutdowns.
pumps.
Ah, this
Yeah, one for the APE, fine. I'll turn it off now.
Electrical.
EPU on the bus.
Fasten belts.
Off.
Window heat.
Off.
Probe heat.
Off.
Anti-ice.
Perfect 10.
Electric
10 out of 10.
pumps.
Not again.
Oh yeah, whoops.
Off.
Voice recorders.
Auto.
Air conditioning.
10 out of 10.
Auto.
Great
Engine
touchdown.
bleed.
Great distance from threshold.
APU bleed.
Off.
Exterior
What do you mean
lights.
how?
Damn.
Fine. But absolutely no problem at all. 10 out of 10. Perfect pilot. Can't get better. What's it not happy with? Exterior lights. I don't know. It's all fine. We'll skip it.
Checked.
Start switches.
Off.
Auto brake.
Admin
Off.
mode in New Sky.
Speed
No.
brake.
Down
Perfect
intake.
landing. Yeah.
Flaps.
Up. No lights.
Parking brake.
Set.
Oh, nice,
Start
Sarah. You got a
levers.
Brenner yoke.
Weather
600
radar.
quid. Awesome.
Not again.
Oops.
Off.
Transponder.
Yeah, alright, alright.
Stand by.
CVR circuit breaker.
In.
Cockpit door.
Not again.
Okay, fair enough, fair enough. Oh, I can't. Yeah, so you see the dome light? It's a black hole. Where's the door? I need my night vision goggles on to find the door. There we go.
Unlocked.
Shutdown checklist complete.
Perfect. There we are. I won't do the full secure checklist. Excellent. Not bad, ZIBO. Yeah, very nice. When was the last time we did 2 sectors in the mod? What was that Ferrari there? Oh, it's just a drive through the turtle. When was the last time we did a 2 sectors in the mod? Some time ago. But yeah, the mod's doing a really nice job in X-Plane 12, handling well. Cockpit lighting, you've got to get that Fly of Lua mod to make it work well. But yeah, nice to do 2 sectors. Look at that, after 3 hours on the stream as well. But yeah, thanks for coming with me and exploring these 2 airports with me. They're 2 very short flights, which does limit the a chance to interact with you and chat as much as I'd like. And the briefings are quite short and sharp, but we do fly sectors this length all the time, so yeah, you do sort of have to set up in the climb and then brief in the descent. It's a bit messy, but with you guys watching, yeah, I did my best to make it all work out well. So I hope you enjoyed the 2 sectors today. Rigged, look at you lot, rigged, admin mode in New Sky, hardy heart. Tomorrow's 13, glad you enjoyed the stream. I hope no one's going down from the L2. No, it's a long way down. Cheers for you, Skycheck. Thanks for streaming and the teaching. Very nice. You're most welcome. Perfect. Yeah, well, we'll be live again tomorrow in the Seneca 2. And then hopefully at least, I'll definitely do one more before Sunday. And then Sunday I'm out of base for a whole week. So I won't be around next week. So hopefully at least, definitely at least the Seneca stream and one more out before then. Cool. Right, no GSX to worry about. We've logged off of VATSIM. I'll try and get a VATSIM event. Won't for the Mexico one, but I'll try and do a busy one this weekend. Nice. I like taking part in busy VATSIM events. Excellent. Right, so that's it. Hopefully the replay will all work. Nice to have both my X-Plane and Microsoft Flight Sim working well. No instability or crashes for ages now, which is great. I don't know where that's from. That's a cool view. Different strip somewhere. And another runway. Another runway as well. Where is it? Oh, yeah. What runway is that? Oh, I know what it's done. It's done this before. It's some weird ortho thing, isn't it? Look. It's not put me on the runway. It's put me here. I've had this before. There we are. Why does it do that sometimes? I don't understand why it does that.
300, 200, 100.
Yes.
50, 40, 30,
It's broken.
20, 10.
And I've touched down on the invisible runway. And then it will all of a sudden go all the way down onto the correct runway. Whee! There you go. It's ortho. And I think it's to do with the fact that I've used this flat runway tool as well. I've had that happen before. Well, I'll leave it at that. So I don't do the full replay, it's not working properly. You can enjoy the taxiing on the stand instead. Right then guys, that's it. Well, I hope you enjoyed those little 2 sectors in the ZIBO MOD 737 in X-Plane 12. Great to fly again. As I said, it's working very well in X-Plane 12. Let's hope they sort out the cockpit lighting in the not too distant future. I'll see you tomorrow in the Seneca 2. And if you enjoyed the stream, don't forget to like and then subscribe if you're just watching in the background to stay up to date with the latest content. Look after yourselves, guys. And yeah, guys at Discord, I'll probably show you the Seneca maybe tonight. I'm going to download it. Maybe tonight, try it tomorrow, but I'll show it to you before the stream anyway. Take care, guys. Enjoy the rest of your evening, morning, afternoon, wherever you are. Cheerio.